Xbox. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and Black Times Infinity. I am your interim host, the oldest ninja in the world, and on my left, your boy Blue.
Let's all remember the true meaning of Prime Day, and that's when we lost Optimus Prime when he battled against Megatron. So, R.I.P. Optimus Prime. May you always be remembered.
Press F for respect. And choking people out on the ones and twos, spinning on the threes and fours. Think this the other way around. On my right is Cronus.
Do you know how much blood there is in a human body? Because I'm about to show you.
And we got us a special guest in the house on my far right. We have joining us tonight Lilith.
If they don't bring back Eddie in Stranger Things 5, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, apparently
I
he's
have to
dead.
agree.
All right, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, someone spoiled it.
I'm
Oh,
far behind. It's all right. We're past the 48-hour period.
all kinds of bombs.
Well, we thought Homeboy was dead. The sheriff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
everyone.
work.
No,
Nah.
I didn't think he was dead.
Nah, nobody knew he was dead. And
Is
they
he,
showed him in the
is he like
trailer.
Barb dead or? I mean, because Barb was like dead.
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
But we knew at the end of Stranger Things season 1 that Barb was dead. So.
Oh yeah,
I
Barb
gotta
was
use
dead.
looking up here for the camera now instead of like over here.
And also,
Yeah, Barbara's
that
dead.
sheriff guy. At the end, after the credits,
Hopper?
we got to see that he was in. Hopper. We got to see that he was in like a prison or somewhere, and like
With
the
no
school
hair
area,
and all that.
so we knew he was still alive.
We knew he was alive. But what's his name? Samwise Gamgee. He was dead. He was dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He had a bad day, real bad day. Almost
But
as if
what's the name
somebody
is-
interrupting you
name?
while you playing your Xbox.
What's the name of the girl that what's the name was that he was telling her to wake up? Christy. He's like, Christy, wake up. We know Christy's dead. She's dead at the door now. Or what can I? as a twisted stick, I guess. She was all bended up.
Folded.
Dude,
Like
that
fresh
audio
laundry.
has spread its way through TikTok of just
Oh
Chrissy
yeah,
wake up.
the Christy wake up. It's even a song now.
Yep.
That's terrible.
Christy,
All right,
wake
I
up.
think it's cool that like what was it?
I don't like this.
Master of Puppets is now charting again, and people are just like, "Oh my
yeah.
god, this is so cool!" I'm like, "This is Metallica, though. Like, how do you not know?" But then again, I didn't know about Kate Bush, but I'm also not from the United Kingdom, and I hated '80s music except for metal. So there you go.
All right, so we got to keep this on track.
Yeah.
Cronus usually has some statistics for us.
That I do.
Some stats.
First in the chat will be my boy
Folks.
Mike, who also goes by XXTatsXX, like he was born in the '80s or some shit. But it's all good.
awesome.
And then also, okay, give me a second. And listener of the week would be XOR, X0R, Zor. So yeah, Zor. So yeah. I'll be right
What
back.
is it? Wait, maybe he's a photographer since. Oh no, it's DSLR. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, there's an XLR. It's not a
Is
cable.
it XLR?
Yeah, there's an XLR. I think for audio though. All right.
Yeah, XLR cables. Yeah, you're right. And there's also
Alright.
the Cadillac. Oh yeah, XLR. That's the cable we use for our microphone systems.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
but then-
I got some RIPs for y'all listening this week. We're gonna pour out some Colt 45 this week. We're gonna start with Kazuki Takahashi. He was the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh,
the
you say
manga.
arigato like we say arigato.
He was the creator of the manga and the trading card game. Yu-Gi-Oh debuted on Shonen Jump magazine in 1996. Became a big hit. It sold more than 40 million copies just as a manga, and then even more as a card game. And with video game sales, you're talking billions. Apparently, there's no. I haven't seen a hard number, but apparently it's over 1 billion in total sales. There was a TV show, video games, figurines, and toys for Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh means King of Games, apparently in Japanese.
The duel.
Fitting. Way better than Pokemon.
He died
Say
apparently.
it's better than
while-
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus! People are super mad right now. I bet you that same girl that was
Chair
mad about
thrower.
Almighty, she's like, "What the fuck?" That's
Yeah.
why doesn't like Pokemon.
Yeah, she didn't broke her laptop right now. So he died apparently while snorkeling in southwestern Japan. off according to the Coast Guard. This was on Friday. He was found off the coast of Okinawa. He was 60 years old.
Oh, he was
Next,
6 years old out there snorkeling. Holy shit!
yeah, man. So just because you old, don't mean you kind of still try to, live your life.
I mean, that's not that old. First of all, Odenji, you're older than that, and then second of all, we're
Yeah.
like me and Blue are like 18 years away from that, so
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Man.
Not that far away.
Shut up.
Better get to. Next up, we have Gregory Itzin, veteran actor who's been nominated for a Tony Award for his performance in 1993's The Kentucky Cycle. Right after his stage run, he joined the cast of 24 during the season's fourth season as Vice President Charles Logan. He was nominated for an Emmy for award for his performance for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. He was already a TV actor before he joined, or a veteran TV actor before he joined 24. He was in The West Wing, Star Trek Enterprise, NCIS, Firefly. He also appeared in movies such as Law Abiding Citizen with Jamie Foxx and Gerard Butler, and Lincoln with Daniel Day Lewis. He was having emergency surgery on July 8th, and he died due to complications from the surgery. He was 74. Uh, Next up, I believe his name is Tony. I believe the last name is Sirico? Tony Sirico. He was an actor who played Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos. He was one of the fan favorite characters from the show. He appeared in numerous films, including Goodfellas, Mob Queen, Mighty Aphrodite, Love and Moan. He was in The Pickup Artist and Gotti. He almost exclusively always played a gangster. He died at the age of 78, roughly 3 weeks before his 80th birthday. And then last, we have James Caan. Uh, Actor who's won an Academy Award, 2 Primetime Emmys, and 4 Golden Globe Awards. His claim to fame was in The Godfather as Sonny Corleone, and he reprised his role for the sequel. He would go on to to either star or be featured in acclaimed films such as The Gambler, Rollerball, The Rain People, Honeymoon in Vegas, Dick Tracy, Dogville, and Kay's probably her favorite movie, Elf. He's been in movies since the 1960s. He was also an avid martial artist practitioner. For 30 years, he earned Master Six Dan in Gosoku Ryu Karate. He was also granted Sokedai by the International Karate Association. He had ties to the Colombo crime family, to which one of his sons, Scott Can, has a godfather from the Colombo family. Scott Can is probably most known as Tweeter from Varsity Blues, and he is currently on Hawaii Five-O. James Caan died at the age of 82.
All right.
There we go.
There's something very important at the beginning of this podcast that we didn't even address. So the person to my left is my daughter. So that's how you
What
on
is
the
your-
podcast.
yeah. I would let you handle that. I don't know if you wanted this till then. And
She's
then
my
for
oldest.
those of you wondering where Loudmouth Prodigy is, he got caught by the foodie police again, and his stitches out there brooding on a gargoyle somewhere. There you go.
We know the truth by Prodigy here. Cronus said you need to buy a mic. He didn't buy the mic. Now he's fearing the wrath of Cronus.
Man, HR caught up with him. He was spending his expense report had food all over it and no microphone. I'm just saying it should have been a microphone number one. Instead, it was dicks and titties. So
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and live action no
And
less.
boobs.
Hey, dang. All right. Where do y'all want to start with first? I know what I want to start with, but unless y'all got something else.
Let's ask our guest if she
I was
wants
gonna
to
say,
start
what
anywhere.
would you like to start with? Can you read the list? It's probably pretty small. I got
Yeah.
good contacts.
I mean, these are my old glasses,
Yeah.
so. I am curious as to what the Uvalde lies are.
Holy Jesus! Okay, that's a
Oh,
can of
God.
worms you have opened now.
Yes.
It's a pretty messed up one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like I probably shouldn't be smiling right now, though.
No, I mean it just keeps getting shittier and shittier,
Yeah.
with evidence apparently.
Goddamn.
So
There's receipts that are the receipts are so long. It's like they went to CVS. That's how long
Yeah.
the receipts are.
it's
Goddamn.
like they just lied they did. They lied the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you want me to start, or do you guys want to start?
A little bit of the stuff that Stitch was doing. I didn't go deep, but go ahead, y'all take it.
All right. So in the beginning, when the Uvalde shooting first started, the events that they said happened didn't happen really at all. They said that when the gunman first got there, like police weren't there. Like they said they got there a little bit late, and all they had was pistols to combat him, and there was like no way they could defeat some guy with a assault rifle with pistols, which is fucking bullshit. But anyway, unless your assault rifle happens to have a force shield in front of it, like there's no bearing on like it's not going to counter a bullet from any other gun, which is stupid. They said that they thought that everything was safe. They were waiting for backup and all this other shit. Now we're getting video evidence of like what actually happened, and like literally within I think like 3 minutes of the guy entering the school, there was 3 officers and at least 2 of them had assault rifles. Okay, and there's a video of them, running down through a hallway like to get to the shooter, and they get shot at and they all run back. And they wait for people. And the other police officers arrived within like 2 minutes, also with rifles. And then minutes and tens of minutes go by, and more officers come up, and some of them had bulletproof shields, plus riot gear, all this other stuff. And it's just like, all right. So we see the videos of like, and one of the things that's crazy about it, there's like a guy who's on his fucking cell phone while kids are getting slaughtered. He's just fucking flipping through, probably on Facebook or some shit. Another guy, when they decide to first go like really actually assault the guy, he just starts getting hand sanitizer. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, there's dead kids in a room over from you, and you're worried about the sanitation of your fucking hands, And I was just like, it was just insane. Like the amount of lies that they told about this shit was just crazy. And like seeing the video evidence now is like, they have literally zero excuses now. And they got mad that they released the video footage, quote unquote, too early. It's like, no, it should have been released immediately, at least to the parents, but they didn't. They waited. This is now, I think it's 6 weeks, probably more than that we waited on basic facts for this. And it's still evolving in like what happened. And they're just totally fucking lying. They just need to just come out and say it. The people that were there were fucking cowards, because they were cowards. What they did was cowardly, and they sat by idly while children were screaming, literally screaming, getting slaughtered by a fucking madman.
And another thing that they kind of lied about, they said that they were waiting for somebody with a key to like open the door or whatever or not, but they never even tried to see if they could open the door, and the door wasn't locked at all. So it's like, okay, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Even so,
Yeah, like Connor said, like
if you had riot gear, that's still probably gonna, I don't know, break down a door.
exactly. At least a good fucking kick.
Yeah, they could have. There's plenty of other ways, especially like there was windows, there was other entryways in there, because we saw videos of like the kids getting taken out of the windows. So why was nobody like manning the windows? Why was there nobody, protecting all the exits? But for some reason, they just decided to let this guy for 77 minutes just like literally torture and murder these kids,
Yeah. And like when a video footage like dropped, I was like, holy shit, like this shit's like clear as day. It wasn't like some blurry footage or anything. Like you could literally see, you almost could see what the guy was doing on his cell phone. But it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy because like I think it was like Border Patrol that showed up that actually ended up killing the guy and like actually get inside the classroom and doing what they needed to do. But yeah, just the fact that they just keep lying on top of lies. Like they talked about how like they're waiting for like a commander to show up to like let them know what they need to do instead of just doing your fucking job. It's crazy. This shit just keep getting weird, or not weirder and weirder, but the lies just keep getting deeper and deeper, and the truth keeps coming out.
I mean, your catchphrase is protect and serve, but it sounds like all you're protecting and serving is your fucking self. That's it. Yeah. You're not protecting and serving anybody else but yourself, and that is not what anybody is asking you to do. We're asking you to save these fucking kids, not just make sure that yourself is okay.
You know, it's crazy that like a lot of the police officers that you see on the video footage they're not in the best of shape.
Well, I mean, that's in general. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah, I'm about to say, I feel like,
shape. Yeah,
dude, even in metropolitan cities, there's a lot of big tubby officers running around with like all kinds of gear. But then there's also fit officers, so you get both.
I have a problem with. don't get me wrong. Like if I'm not trying to fat shame people, but if you physically cannot do certain things, then you have a limitation. All right, there's limitations that you have to understand. Like if you can't run somebody down without your gear on because you have 80 pounds worth of extra body with you, that's an issue. But I don't want to get in it because people are gonna get the wrong message here.
Yeah.
But the stuff about like them saying that they couldn't go up against the guy because he had an assault rifle, and we'll just go along with the first lie in that the officers only had pistols. So first of all, if you're in like an actual like in a building, if you have a full-size M16, it's actually disadvantageous to use your full-size M16 over a pistol because it's harder to move around. You can hit a fucking wall. There's all kinds of shit that can happen. So for somebody to say, and also nothing about an M16 will stop a bullet from anything. Like you could just shoot further away. That's a definite advantage of somebody shooting at you. But if you're in an enclosed environment, you have a handgun, you have a slight advantage. You don't have obviously you don't have like a ballistic advantage, but you could definitely get down the sights faster, especially from a kid that's not even trained. You know what I mean? These guys are supposed to be like trained, quote unquote professionals, but they didn't do any of that shit. It's like they didn't. There's a lot of shit that they could have done, and what's making me mad now is that people that are on the police like all the time, like say I protect the blue no matter what. But it's like, no, these people should not be considered as really part of any relevant police force. I have a problem with like policing in America in general, but in this specific issue, in this specific scenario, every single last person that was in that building that did not confront the shooter immediately needs to be fired, and they should never be an officer again. They should protect fucking nobody. Because if you think about like a list of people that should be protected, children is like the top of the fucking list. The very top, maybe babies, but they're just outside of being babies. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you can't protect the beings on this planet that need the most protection, then what the fuck are you even doing? Like seriously. And I know that in the end, probably none of those officers are going to get fired. They're probably going to pin it all on that one, Chief Arredondo, which don't get me wrong, he needs to be fired too. But it gets to the thing where you get to like, I hate using like extremes, but I'm using this extreme only because it's relevant what I'm about to say. It gets into like this Nazi syndrome. And what I'm talking about is there's this thing where a lot of Nazis during World War II, after it was over, they just said, oh, I was just, following orders. I was just following orders. That's why I did what I did. And I know that some of those officers were saying, well, nobody's called it in yet. Nobody told me to go. You shouldn't need somebody to fucking tell you to protect kids. All right, a normal person, if they see a kid in danger, no matter what they have on them, will try to protect that child. There was like 60 plus fucking officers there. You're telling me not one of them had the fucking balls to be like, hey, somebody is not doing the right thing. Let me do the right thing. It took 77 minutes for somebody to finally wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
And realize, oh my God, we're supposed to be protecting these kids that just got murdered.
Hold on. It took 77 minutes for a whole different department to show up and do their job for them.
It only takes one fucking person for everybody else to follow and say, and like snap out of whatever stupidity they were in at that moment. It only takes one person to be like, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? And then hopefully, if they're not that moronic, they will follow. But not even one person decided to try and do something.
Well, if you watch the video, what's crazy to me, so the guys had shields, right? At kind of early on, I think it was like the first 5-8 minutes. There's guys with shields there, right? So the guys with shields are there for like a long time. Like, okay, I'm like, why aren't you like breaching now? Like if you're worried about getting shot, there's less of a chance of you getting shot now. Like, so let's go. But that didn't happen. And then once eventually people decided to actually start like stacking, I'm putting stacking in quotes because I have no idea why the people that went first weren't the guys with the shields.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, what are they doing? Like, you have guys with shields. They're supposed to be the ones that are supposed to be protecting you from getting shot. Like, the whole thing was like a shit show. Like, watching, I was just like, and don't get me wrong, like, you need a door kicker who probably doesn't have a shield, but like, getting up to the fucking door, like, if you had the shields there, like, why weren't you using them? Like, I just think it was like literally one guy. I was just like, I'm just going. And they were just like, okay, like, let's go, I guess. So, it's just crazy.
What was also crazy, I mean, we talked about this before, was that like the parents of like the kids were like, they damn near breached the fucking the school themselves to go save their kids because they were pulling kids out of the window, there's some that were like arrested just because they were trying to get to the kids, and it's like here these parents are willing to risk their life to save not just their kids but other kids. Like I think there was like a one mom who like got one kid out of the classroom and then went to another side of the school and got her other kid out of there. So here you have parents that are willing to risk their life, but you have officers who they're there to protect and serve, like Lita said, but they just cowered in the corner.
Oh, there's one thing that you missed though with that the woman that got her two kids out. So first of all, if we're thinking of the same person, this brave woman, she wanted to go in, and then they detained her. They handcuffed this woman because she wanted to get in there. So they stopped her from trying to save her child's life. Which what? Like, what are we doing here? Second of all, somebody else came on site and they were like, no, she's fine. As soon as she got the handcuffs off, she ran and then got her kids. And now that the evolving situation with her is that the police are harassing her to shut her up about what happened, because she was somebody, she's on not parole. I think it is actually parole. She did something. She has a record, and so they're harassing her, telling her that basically they're gonna charge her with some crime to get her back in jail. And it's just like, wow, like.
Correctly, don't quote me on this, but there was a couple people that got full on maced because they were just trying to save their kids.
Yeah.
Like, you're properly injuring somebody who's trying to be helpful and would, I don't know, successfully be helpful, possibly, and you're actively harming them and keeping them from doing something. Like, yeah, handcuffs are one thing, but mace hurts a hell of a lot more than handcuffs.
Yeah, I can understand them wanting to keep people away if they had the situation under control, but they didn't.
Under control.
So, yeah, I as a parent, I probably would have done the same thing. And
I need
because I always think about.
I need Stitch here. I kind of know what I have a feeling I know what Stitch would kind of say with parents interfering with the police action. Granted, and we just talked about how the police
There was no police action. That's the problem, though. There's no argument. Yeah, there's no action.
But the police didn't know what was going on, and then you have more parents going into a situation that nobody knew exactly what was going on. So the parents could have went in and got themselves shot. So I understand trying to keep people that want to help back and let the police do their job, but unfortunately, the police were not there. They got very little information. They were working off of that, but they didn't actually go in and investigate. They just stood back.
Well, yeah.
I don't know how Border Patrol came into the picture to do this, but 77 minutes is a long time.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Part of your job is to also figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, nothing got done that should have gotten done. Not a single little minuscule of, I don't know, respect for the badge that you wear. The respect that I went through all this training to protect people and I can't even fucking do that. Like, what kind of a person are you?
Yeah, I'm just imagining like if just imagine if you're a parent. Like, I mean, most parents are like literally go through fire to save their kids, and then when you have somebody that's like armed to the teeth, and then are protecting your kids, it's like, what are you supposed to do in a situation? I mean, I know what I do, but that's just it's insanity. And these people still have jobs. Like, they all still have jobs. All of them, and I don't think that any of them are going to have, deep consequences. I think that they're trying to wait for it to like get swept under the rug. Chief Arredondo he's pretty much screwed, but I think they need to name all the names of everybody that's in that video, every single last one of them, except for the person who actually started to like save people. Really? All the rest of them, name their names, and I don't care about doxing because I'm not saying like say where they live and all that stuff. All I'm saying is that they're public servants. All right, so you can't cover up like who they are because literally they are public servants. Like, you don't get that kind of protection. Like, you can get, qualified immunity, which I don't even agree with at all, but it doesn't protect you from people not knowing who the fuck you are. You should be properly shamed. I'm not saying go out there and like do anything violent towards those officers, but they should be publicly shamed for what they did. Because what they did that's the ultimate shameful act, as far as I'm concerned, is like literally doing nothing when you could have saved lives, and you had the means to do so while children died.
I was just gonna say, like, what I can't remember. There was like a football player who, it's kind of a side note, where I think his son was drowning, and like he literally like jumped in to save him, and I think he lost his life.
Shad Gaspard. He's
You know?
actually the body of Kratos.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But then also, the one actress from Glee, Rivera, Naya, I think her name was.
Oh, I think Nivea Rivera.
Yeah,
Was
she
that her
saved
name?
her son's life, and she ended up drowning. And it's just what parents would do for their kid.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean it's what parents should do, and yeah, in the absence of, I don't get the whole thing. It couldn't come at a more terrible time for the police, but it's just showing that there's certain police officers, and in this instance, it wasn't even just like an officer. That's like a whole fucking bunch of 40% of Uvalde's budget of the city goes towards the police. 40% of their budget. 40.
Wow.
That is insane.
Um,
Could you imagine paying 40% of your fucking paycheck towards anything and not getting the basic service that they're supposed to provide? Like it's like
Oh,
paying
man.
40% of your paycheck for the internet, and your internet doesn't even work when you really need it to.
So it's all dial up.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
so
even
bad.
dial up. Yeah.
So the actress's name is Naya Rivera. That's her name,
Yeah.
not Nivea. It's Naya Rivera from Glee, who drowned saving her own son. But in both of those instances, it was just the two of them. So, but they did what they needed to do to save their children. So,
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It's just
uh,
it was infuriating actually watching the video. I was just like, dude, like what? How could none of you do? How could none of you literally do like nothing? Like, yeah, I don't get it. It's yeah. I'm gonna stop thinking about it because I'm gonna get you more angry.
well, I kind of want to keep this same energy with something else that happened, but well, it's garnered national attention, obviously, because of what they're happening. But I think the final, I don't know if it's the final proceedings of the January 6th
Oh no,
insurrection
there's way more.
trial.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it looks like they're shifting through a bunch of evidence, but there's been, I guess, some damning testimony that happened on the 7th or the 8th or something. And so it's just really crazy listening to like firsthand accounts and like the committee that's there. They keep talking about all these documents that they've acquired that completely
It's not even
it
just
feel
this.
if
Go ahead.
go ahead. I was
Well,
gonna say it just seems like there's like a lot of breadcrumbs that are leading to this guy.
yeah, it's not what happened specifically on the six. It's all the lead up. That's like the
Oh, yeah.
last one that came on was like the lead up to the six, and it was just like, whoa, dude. There was like so much stuff that I was not aware of that occurred before the six. Like everything ever since like the election in 2020, all that lead up, like it started like on I think it was like November 4th or whatever or 5th.
Or no, it started in December.
No,
Okay,
it started
some of
before
the
that. No, because it was like
Oh,
because when we were all voting, and he was already saying like it was a sham, and that's when it started. Is like
oh, you said November. I'm sorry, I thought you
No-
said January. Yes. Okay.
no
Yeah.
November,
Yeah.
November, yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And yeah, like watching like all the receipts they had about all this stuff, I was just like, dude, this is and like just how dumb this dude is. Like he. I love what Liz Cheney. And don't get me wrong, I'm no Liz Cheney fan because she's fucking crazy and a lot of stuff. Like she just recently, even like during the January 6th commission thing, we had the overturning of Roe versus Wade, and she is staunchly against Roe. And I'm just like, lady, you're a lady. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing here? So keep that in mind. So people are like saying like, oh yeah, Liz Cheney for president. Fuck no. But definitely do like the job that you're doing right now, like drilling into, Donald Trump. Keep doing that. But fuck your politics. So
It's all bad. Yeah. So I remember they were talking about like, I think it was January 20 or no, I'm sorry, December 28th or 22nd or something, and there was just like there's testimony about this vivid like fight in the White House. Not a physical fight. It was like a lot of yelling and screaming apparently, but apparently it almost came to blows according to White House chief of staff and Rudy Giuliani who was there, I guess. But like the
Was
the
he drunk?
CEO.
Yeah.
No, the CEO of Overstock.com
Yes,
was
he
in the
was
White
drunk.
House.
Blue said, "Was he drunk?" Yes, he was. Multiple people said that. I'm not bullshitting.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's crazy. That part I didn't hear. I just heard like when he talked about how when they left, and I guess the Oval Office they have a room above the Oval Office they call the Yellow Oval Office or the Yellow Room. And they talked about how I don't know why the CEO from Overstock.com was there, but they were there arguing, talking about stop the
Right.
steal and all
So
kinds of
like,
stuff. But they're talking about what could happen on the 6th, and it was just like super crazy stuff. And this is literally a week before it went down.
what's so special about Overstock.com?
I have
No,
no idea.
I mean literally nothing. I mean they used to be a cool website. I mean they still are a cool website, but the fact is that they had people like the Overstock.com former CEO, and then like just random ass people that got access to the president, which is like, why are we having random ass people getting access to the president? And like one of them, Sidney Powell, one of the main people that convinced him that he can get like the presidency back, she she came out of nowhere, and not only did she not have an appointment with the president, which how the fuck do you do that? But second of all, after they met, he made her a quote unquote special counsel and then gave her a security clearance without a background check, without anything. I'm just like,
That sounds sketchy as shit.
yeah, I'm just like, how do you do that? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then
Not even just how, but why. Just why.
It's when you need yes men or women, yes people. You need a yes people, and
There-
those are
so-
yes people.
so these people were saying that they were basically saying that there was fraud and voter fraud and basically all the conspiracy stuff, and they had like all these theories, and then the chief of staff, I can't remember his name, but he was like, well, where's the evidence? And when he asked that, that's when these people went ballistic on him. They're like, you should already know, it's already out there. And he's like, but yeah, you're coming to us and the White House saying that all these things happen and you have no physical evidence, no paper trail, and like it turns into a screaming match.
Okay,
And I'm
so
just like,
if it's
what the
already
fuck?
out there, then what's the issue of you just, repeating it for me? What's the point?
Yeah.
Why can't you just be like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Why you gotta make a whole big scene about it? If it's supposedly already all out there, then you should know it too. Nothing should have changed. Why don't you just say it? What's the difference?
It's because they're grifters. Let me look up the actual definition of grifters because I forget the actual definition. But they're all grifters, and that's why we're seeing like the rise of grifters right now. Let me actually read.
They were looking for a handout. That's what they're looking for. And for
I was gonna
you to,
say,
Yeah,
for
so-
people that come, people, the business people that didn't have an appointment with the president are getting special clearances without going through checks, without any paperwork, just verbalizing like, hey, get her whatever she needs, make it happen type attitude.
So I feel like right now we need a better word than grifter because I understand what grifter means. Somebody that just engages in like bullshit to say anything to like get money. But this is the actual definition: is a person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. But these people are not doing small scale swindling; they're doing large scale swindling. Yes, they swindled one person, but that one person swindled a fucking even I consider Donald Trump a grifter, especially right now because he doesn't actually have that much money. But he grifted people out of millions of dollars, which they went through on like a couple days ago on the January 6th commission. Like when they did the whole Stop the Steal campaign, none of that money went towards any legal fees. All that money went towards his pockets and his friends' pockets. Like there was like a woman, what's her name, Kimberly Guilfoyle. She got paid $60,000 to introduce somebody from the Stop the Steal campaign money. So yeah.
It almost sounds like that old school Western term for like the snake oil salesman. Like
That's literally what it
Oh, you
means.
did.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say so. Bill Clinton had an intern that gave him a BJ.
Blowjob, and then they get
Yeah,
popular.
there's just a whole bunch of stuff that's happening. There's testimony from
Had a shadow walking in the background. Holy shit!
oh,
He's
bad.
running upside down.
It's all bad.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Yeah,
Stitch is
I
on.
saw there's.
Hold on, real quick. Stitch is coming.
Oh,
Hey, what's
shit!
going on?
Hi.
Whoa.
What up? What up?
What up?
Okay, he upgraded his
just missed-
background. Look at this. I love when people like do their backgrounds like mean something. Like he has like Kobe right in the fucking background, basketball and
He
shit.
sure fucking does.
Goddamn
And then
transformer.
you can see, that's Omega Supreme,
That's
and
what
I
I was
know
gonna
where
say,
he
yeah.
got that from.
There's a train tracks in the back.
So, like, what's your favorite sport? I can't tell.
That's his old a partial of his old license plate.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that.
This is the owl loft.
You just missed it. Can we rewind the tape a little bit about the Uvade, whatever
Uvalde.
the backload that happened in Texas? Sure.
What-
Stitch, we gotta get your thoughts on this. What did you think about these the released footage?
I didn't get a chance to see the I guess everything that was released, but I mean it just confirms, if not adds to a layer of a shit show that we all thought it was at the time, pretty much. And that's putting it kindly. It is just obviously an epic failure on from top to bottom. And I'm sure that there's obvious blame to go around from obviously the chief or whatever, who was also, I guess, on the time at the city council, which is fucking weird in itself. And then that entire SWAT team, the officers that were there, the school resource officer that wasn't on fucking campus or whatever, doing his fucking job. It was just a failure on ridiculous levels, and there needs to be accountability. And unfortunately, it doesn't do any justice for the families that like lost their lives, obviously. But I mean, there's something. It feels hollow saying something needs to be done, because that goes without saying. It's almost like saying thoughts and prayers or whatever. It's like, okay, what are you going to do? What can be done? And unfortunately, nothing will justify the epic failure that took place.
I feel like all we're really, not necessarily us, but like us as a whole, like as people, are just pushing around blame. It's like, well, no, this person did it. No, this person did it. You can push around blame all you want. You can do that for eons, and nothing's gonna fucking happen from it. Even if you decide on one definitive person, it wasn't one definitive person. It was a group of people. And right now, it just feels like everybody's trying to find one guy to say no, fuck you. When you gotta say no, fuck you to a lot more people than just one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone wants to find a scapegoat
Yeah,
and
no, that's
a whipping boy.
It's the easier option, and this isn't an easy situation.
Yeah, it's a systematic failure, and the whole thing there needs to be re-examined. And I mean, they say like the DOJ is looking into it, as somebody that knows how the DOJ works, that doesn't inspire any faith or confidence or whatever. The DOJ is just the entity in itself that just mills around and doesn't really do too fucking much or whatever. And by the time they come with their findings, it'll probably be like 5-6 years from now, and will be many school shootings.
Many
past.
after that, yeah. Many before and after, many after. Nothing's for right now solving the problem. Everybody's coming up with theories, but nobody's doing a single fucking thing about it.
Yeah.
Like, Uvalde might be a super relevant one right now, but it's not the only one that's happened since then. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm positive there's been some since then. I mean, even the one in Chicago, that's not a school shooting, but it was still a shooting. Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
Probably at least like 5 shootings today.
I think.
Yeah.
Stitch, what are your thoughts about the parents crossing the police line trying to save your kids? And what are your thoughts on this? Where the police were arresting the parents that were trying to save their children because the police were unwilling to or unable to, or whatever they
It was, well, I mean, it for that situation, it was just an anomaly of just epic fucking up left and right. So it's hard for me to justify anything that they were doing at the time. Normally, during like an active shooter situation or whatever, you're supposed to go in immediately and stop the killing. Is you don't really have time for tactics or whatever. It's just stop people from fucking dying or whatever. That's how you're trained for active shooter situations. I remember when the thing came out and all these rumors were coming out about well, I mean, all these. I guess at the time there were rumors because we didn't really know what was going on about oh, they waited, blah blah blah. They didn't go in right away, and my only thought on that at the time was like maybe there was some sort of confusion on if this was an active shooter or a hostage situation. Um, but all that stuff got cleared up. It just seemed like you had a bunch of people that like to get tactically dressed, but when it comes go time, they just are standing around wanting to look tactical instead of actually tactical or whatever. So um, it's just an epic failure from all ends of it in terms of like how it was their arrival, their planning, their execution, their handling of families, bystanders, witnesses on scene. Obviously, after the fact, debriefing the media falsely, um, false press conferences, misinformation, lying, the chief or whatever saying one thing and then finding out something else was actually going on, then him not cooperating with investigations once DOJ. I mean, the laundry list of epic failure or whatever. So it's hard for me to like pinpoint on one thing. It is just a complete fucking shit show disaster or whatever. So it's hard for me to pinpoint like or even talk about like how they treated the families on scene because I mean everything was just mind-blowingly fucked up.
Yeah, it was like. I'm glad you said it was like it's hard to pinpoint because it was like it's a system failure is what it was because if it was just like one thing and it was like one guy because usually it's like it's like a certain specific thing. It's like okay that one thing is fucked up, but in this one it's just like how do you have and this is something that I do not expect from police officers like in the slightest. All right, because I mean you guys aren't in the military, but at the same time, you know you sign up to do a certain job and the job is dangerous. You know what I mean? And and nowadays, police officers have way more gear than I think that they need. But doesn't matter what I think. They had all that gear that they needed at the time. You know what I mean? And for you to have like all this shit and still not know what to do, even after having, you know, training just for this and getting 40% of the city's budget, it's like, dude, like how can all of you like just sit there? You know what I mean? And just like do literally nothing. And you hear the kids screaming like, there's a guy on his phone. Just like, and this is something that I expect from like normal people of like the, you know, you get into like that sheep mentality. That's not even like really a sheep. It's like, there are like three basic things you can do in a traumatic or really extreme circumstance, right? You can run, you can fight, or you can freeze.
Yep.
I don't expect anybody that's in the fucking police force to freeze as being one of the options. They ran, the first two guys that were there, they ran first, somehow convinced the other guys not to come in, and they all just fucking froze. And it's like, that is somebody that should never protect anybody at any time ever.
It's almost like there wasn't even, I wouldn't even call it freezing because it's like, normally when someone freezes, it's like they lock up and they just don't know what to do. It's like they kind of just shut down mentally. There was no sense of urgency or like understanding of the moment or concept of reality. They were just fucking lost.
Well, that's why, hold on, go ahead.
I think that would be more of mentally running and physically freezing.
Yeah, and even I still think it's a mental freeze as well because I think they literally forgot like what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do, having all this? Like, what do I do with all this gear? Like, am I supposed to go help these kids or like that's what I'm talking about? Like the freezing. Like, I'm like, how do you like not do anything? Like and even beyond like freezing, the people outside actively prevented people from helping, and that's where it gets really fucking dark.
See, I personally would see it as they knew what was going on. They knew what they could have done, but they chose not to. Because that looked like it looks like from my perspective that they all collectively chose no, I'm not going to do anything until somebody tells me to do it. And that says to me that they have enough cogs working to know what the situation is and not just, well, I don't, huh? No, no.
And that's what it comes back to. Like I said before, it comes down to like the Nazi war crime thing of people like they were doing war crimes as Nazis, and they were like, oh, I just did what they told me to do.
Then don't.
And that's what happens with like some of these guys. They're just like, well, I didn't get the call to go in. It's like you shouldn't need the call. You've been called. The screams of the kids are the call to go in, like literally.
But I mean, the fucked up thing is like, how do you hold these people accountable? How do you hold this department Uvalde accountable or whatever in a systematic fucking failure?
I mean, I have a suggestion. Would you like to hear it? It's not nice.
Accessory.
I mean, honestly, I would fight every single last person that was in that building that did not engage that shooter should be fired, and they should have to apply for their job back. And if they fail getting their job back, then there should be a black mark on them where they should never be able to become a police officer ever again. Because I know there's. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the weird part is because normally your city council is the one that determines when people are hired and fired and whatever. There's a whole process.
Yeah.
But you have the chief, who was one of the responsible peoples for this shit show, is on the city council or whatever. It's like
now he's not. He resigned. So.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was in like frozen or whatever on leave or whatever. I sort of haven't been able to. I haven't kept up with the day to day on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's
even with the guy, he stepped down. They accepted his resignation. But even then, like when the videos came out, I think yesterday or maybe even today. But like I think it was like the mayor, he was mad that the video came out. He said it wasn't the way we were supposed to do things. I'm like, well, I mean, look, you can't. These are public servants, and it's a public school.
Systematic.
Yeah, so you can't stop the public from knowing what happened from somebody that serves the public and a public school. You know what I mean? And if you want to get mad that they didn't show the parents first, yeah, I'd be mad if I was a parent because they should have showed the parents weeks ago. There should have been no reason for them to hold back. Well, there is a reason. It's to save face, but they're just making it worse. You know what I mean? They're just making it worse.
I didn't know the thing about the mayor, but if that's the case, and the mayor is in on this whole fucking shit show, then who's going to tell the mayor what to do? I mean,
He got to go.
It runs deep in this town. I don't know anything about Uvalde till whatever, except I guess Matthew McConaughey's from there, which I found out after the fact.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But if this runs deep in terms of like the mayor's mad that people are finding out the truth or whatever, then I would imagine, at least from the outside, the mayor's got to go.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I mean, that city is going, and that department's going to be stained forever. And I don't understand, or I can't reasonably see how they expect to learn from this or even right the ship to make things better in the future, because it seems like they're still in cover-up mode that they don't want to try to address the problems that they have. And it'd be one thing if it was just the police department, but it seems like it's the city council, it's other leaders in charge in that city that are complicit with how things happened and trying to put makeup on a disfigured body or whatever for a graphic term.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but this is like one of the things when we talk about like systematic issues. It's like how do you tackle the system? I think with Uvalde might be, it could be. I doubt it's going to happen though, but it could be a perfect example of like how to fix something on a small scale, because Uvalde is not that fucking big. You know what I mean? But if they decided to like, hey, if something this, if someone puts their foot down and be like, look, if something this tragic happens, and the system fails this many of their citizens, there needs to be like this amount of overhaul. And I'm totally fine with Uvalde's police department and their city council and their, all their local government, whoever was involved in any of this, being taken to task and being made an example of, so this never happens again.
I just looked up their population. They have a population of 16,000.
Yeah.
That's small.
Like
as hell.
that's pretty fucking small. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
go on to something a little bit more.
Well,
Lively.
wait, earlier I had mentioned how that Lilith had talked about how since then it's probably been hundreds of mass shootings. I mentioned there's probably been 5 shootings today. Yeah, I was wrong about that.
Probably 10.
It's more than that. It's like 20
Like
today
mass
alone.
shootings or just shootings?
Not mass shootings. There's been just shootings
Okay.
in general. Yeah,
There's a lot of
there's
mass
been a
shootings
few
too.
injuries and there's been a few people who actually died. But yeah, so I'm looking at the gun violence archive.
Yeah, that one's the main one. Is like there's a option there for mass shootings, and yes, there was one today. There was a mass shooting. So I can't get to the bottom of this. What's going on here? Hold on a second, and I will tell you. Shit, I can't see. Oh, there we go. Hold on, I gotta go to the bottom. Jesus Christ.
Another one in Highland Park. Jeez.
Yeah, there was 4 people injured today in Minneapolis. So by shootings. So yeah, and there was. I need to make this bigger. Hold on. There was one yesterday. There was one the day before. There was holy shit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the 10th.
Yeah, holy shit.
Like if you go down this, it's a shitload. And for somebody to say it's not a gun problem. It's like, I mean, this is obviously changed. If you listen to this podcast long enough, you know that I'm pro-gun, but I'm scaling that shit back because this is a serious issue that I was not aware of until recently. And if you see all these fucking mass shootings, and when you see Stitch can correct me if I'm wrong, but the vast majority of aggravated assaults, I think if you'd have taken an aggravated assault and rewound the tape by 80 years, that probably would have been a murder. Because most people that have an aggravated assault done against them, especially when it comes with firearms, they would have died had it not been for current medical technology. Because it's usually deadly force, but they survive, right? Or at least near deadly force.
It's hard for me to sort of quantify, but I logically, I mean, that would make sense, yeah.
Well, I mean, pull up the actual
But
definition.
yeah, that seems like it makes sense.
Now, let me pull up the actual definition of aggravated assault. It's a crime that is so severe that is more severe than simple assault. It typically involves the use of a deadly weapon or an assault on a particularly vulnerable victim, and an assault that causes a serious injury. And that's the reason why you see, when you look at a chart of murders in America, there are less murders in America today, yes. But if you look at the amount of aggravated assaults, that has gone up significantly. It's because medical technology has saved people's lives way more than it could before. Because 80 years ago, we didn't have shit fast blood clotting or a shitload of ambulances and how to deal with trauma. Our society has had to literally evolve with the amount of violence that we've had in this country to save lives from violence that we've done to each other. So when we look at just murder rates, I don't think that it tells the whole picture of the current state of America and our problem with violence.
I feel like there should be a category of possible murder. If it wasn't for the technology that we have today, that it would be a murder.
Well, aggravated assault is an assault that causes a serious injury, but I guess it depends on how serious the injury is.
Yeah.
I have to refer to Stitch on this.
Because, to me, a serious injury is different than someone else.
Yeah, here it's
should call
mainly
that
called assault with a deadly weapon, but deadly weapon is a very broad term defined by the penal code. Deadly weapon can be a knife, gun, bat, club, crowbar, beer bottle, or whatever. Anything, screwdriver. You stab somebody with a screwdriver, that's a deadly weapon, or whatever.
Especially right through the ear. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, fucking nunchucks. I charged somebody with fucking assault with a deadly weapon with some fucking nunchucks.
You should have charged him twice for not being Michelangelo. I'm just saying.
Joke. Set of sticks.
Well, Lilith had talked about they should call it the Black Dynamite.
The fucking boomerang.
Basically, where not that.
Did you throw that shit before you came in the room? Yes, no.
No, it should be if that bullet was 12 inches or 3 inches to the left, it would have missed my black ass.
Oh, damn.
Or the doctor if the bullet was 3 inches to the right, you'd have been dead. It's if it was 3 inches to the left, it would have missed my black ass.
Yeah.
Black Dynamite. Well, All right, let's get out of the dumps real quick. Change to something else. I know
We got
Prodigy's
Stitch in
been.
here.
Wait, what?
I
Yeah,
said
we
since
got
we got
Stitch.
Stitch in here.
What's
If
up?
there's anything Stitch want to go over?
I'm just here along with the ride.
All right, own
All
it.
right. I know Prodigy's been writing Cronus about this show. Did you get a chance to finish Stranger Things season 4 or not?
Yeah, I finished it.
No, I'm. Oh well, I guess it goes to you and Cronus. I'm assuming Cronus didn't
I
because
have
he got
not, but I
spoiled.
mean, I know that somebody died, somebody important.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
It's all good.
Oh
Well,
man.
actually, quite a few people die. Actually, no, not really.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
all the people
Yes,
died in the show this
A
season.
few people die. A few people die, but still. All right. I know that Prodigy's like super high off of this show. He's talking about. Um, y'all see this Monsters trailer that came out? Came out today, I guess. Rob Zombie's redoing the Monsters. I guess he's doing a movie. It's a prequel to the original. Was it 50s TV show?
Like, are you talking about like I'm thinking Adam's Family.
No,
Monsters
it's
the
the
one
Monsters.
with Frankenstein as the
Yeah,
father
Frankenstein's the dad. Yeah, yeah, and Bride of
Yeah.
Frankenstein's the mom.
and his
They had,
son's a
like-
vampire.
Yeah, and then the granddad's a vampire.
Yeah,
Nobody
I
I
saw
know
that trailer.
the Monsters guy.
Okay. I know the trailer came out today. To me, I saw it. It looked a little wonky. I wasn't exactly super enthused. I do like some of Rob Zombie's movies, but this one doesn't look like this is it for me. I know a lot of diehard fans are like, "Oh, this looks pretty cool," but I'm like, I don't know. It looks a little rough, to say the least.
I mean, Rob
I'm
Zombie
looking at
is
some of
kinda
the still
hit or
images,
miss.
and it's like,
What'd you say?
it looks like it. I don't know. It doesn't look that great.
I mean, Rob
Yeah, it
Zombie
looks a little
films are
rough.
pretty hit or miss
Looks
anyway,
like-
so.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
the Monsters is a
almost looks
beloved
like-
TV show. So, go ahead, Blue.
Well, it looks the costume. At least as far as the costume goes, it looks like it's if you went to a Halloween scary house, like that's how the quality of the show looks, or at least the film.
That's never a
Okay.
good sentence.
Yeah.
So I know that most of us probably saw this trailer for the movie Day Shift with Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg.
Shit. Hell
I
yeah.
think I saw part of it.
I'm
But it
excited
did look
about that one.
interesting.
Fuck yeah, I watched it. And there's also breaking news right now. We'll talk about this in a second, but I just want to say the best thing because since Stitch is on here, Bluey season 3 comes out on August 10th.
Oh yes, I did see that.
Fuck yes.
Wait, what
What
season
does? Sorry, I
3?
missed that.
Bluey season 3 comes out
Oh,
on.
Bluey.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you're a parent, watch Bluey with your kids, especially if you have like little kids. Just saying, it's the best kids TV show.
Dude, my little guy knows the fucking opening theme song.
All right, anyway,
Like, if I whistle it and stop, like like because they're doing like not musical chairs, but basically if you keep dancing, you're out or whatever. And if I when I do the intro and I stop, he knows like to say like mom. He doesn't know how to say dad yet, but like he'll like say something at least in between. But it's actually really funny and cute when he does it. I gotta record it. It's really funny when he does it.
Okay.
all right, so Day Shift. Look, honestly, I saw it. Looked amazing. I was like, okay, you got Jamie Foxx, you got Snoop Dogg. I was like, I'm all in. And they're like vampire hunters or some shit. I was like, done and done. Like that's all I needed.
When
Oh,
I
yeah.
first saw the title of the movie, it's called Day Shift. I was like, is he like working at Walmart or Costco? Is this like one of those like weird shows? But then like I actually watched the trailer, I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was gonna be.
Have you
Like
wa-
it's
have you seen the
totally left field. We got Cowboy Snoop Dogg up in this. We got Jamie Foxx being fucking badass. But then we also have what's the guy's brother's name?
James Franco's brother.
Yeah, James Franco's brother. What's his name?
That's gotta be terrible.
James Franco's brother.
It's just some guy's brother.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, some dude's brother. He still haven't got out of his shadow yet. But yeah, just that guy's always funny. Like he's always pretty funny in every movie he's in. So I don't know.
Oh,
This
Dave-
I think it's gonna be real good.
Dave Franco.
It's
that's
good to
his
go back.
brother.
Yeah, Dave Franco. Yeah,
I mean, it's still a
but
step
it's
up
it's just
from-
funny to compare.
It's still a step up from the, that one
I
guy
just-
from that one movie. What was his name? That guy.
Oh, no.
What?
It's always gonna be that way with me. I'm horrible with remembering names. I remember people.
I had literally no idea they were brothers. I
Wait,
recognize,
really?
I recognize his face. I didn't know his fucking name. So, yeah.
Dave Franco, you know Dave and James are brothers.
I mean, I knew his face, not his name.
Yeah.
So if I
Okay.
if I'd heard his name, I'd be like, maybe James Franco's brother. But yeah,
Yeah, Dave Franco's in he's in pretty, I guess, high profile films or
Well,
whatnot.
there's
He's
some
in
celebrities out there that you don't realize that they're actually siblings.
Wasn't he in 22 Jump
Like
Street?
he's in both of them. He's in 21
he's in
and
both of
22. He's in a
He's
few
also-
of them.
Was he
I
in
remember him.
Spider-Man?
I remember him in Neighbors.
He is in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh no, he is not in Spider-Man. Yeah, he is in Neighbors. That shit's hilarious.
There's
hilarious.
a Tom Franco too. How many Franco siblings are there?
No idea. Just like the Baldwins and the Skarsgårds. There's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Ton of them.
And he also
Yeah,
had the
this.
Olsens.
So Day Shift, it looks wild because they're vampire hunters and they're hunting during the day, but they're like blue collar workers. They're like just trying to collect vampire,
Teeth.
yeah, I guess teeth or souvenirs to sell, and apparently it's worth a lot of money. So it's awesome. You see Snoop Dogg with a minigun just tearing up a whole department store. It looks pretty awesome. Comes out on Netflix in about a month. I think August 12th. I think is the release date.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not in the future and probably already seen it like twice or so, it looks awesome at this point. I'm super on board. Vampires and killing, I'm all for it.
You know what they need to do?
I
I just thought
hate
about
it.
it. What they need to do, they need to make a new From Dusk Till Dawn. That's what they need to do. Just saying.
I feel like they've kind of overdone because there's like 3 or 4 movies. There's a TV series.
Sir,
I think they beat it
listen,
to death.
Listen, all right. You bring back Selma Hayek. You bring back Machete. I'm not saying he was Machete in that, but just still, it's him. Bring them all back. All the ones that are
Wait,
still
no,
alive, bring them back.
he is in it. He's in the first one.
I know, but that's not his actual fucking name. His name is not Machete.
Oh, Danny Trejo, baby. But when you say Machete, everybody knows who the fuck
Okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Mr. Trejo.
Oh, everybody knows Machete.
Dude, I love it in the movie how they bring up they make reference to the Twilight series.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's just hilarious.
It's because we at least for me, I know they're horrible, but that's the fact that like James Franco brother character was like like how do you know all these? How do you know the titles to these movies? Most people just say like, oh, it's the Twilight series, but he was like, oh, this is Drake and Dawn, this and that.
I read the books, which is unfortunate. So
God,
I was very bored in Iraq. I was looking for like series with like a lot of books in them. So yeah,
Okay.
that was one of them. So was Harry Potter.
I feel innocent now. Have not read them. Proud of it.
You watched the movies though, didn't you?
Sugar.
Dad, I used to have posters on my wall.
Yeah.
That was my generation of somewhat of a heartthrob.
Let me guess. You were.
ending now. Let's
was
be
it-
very clear about
Were you
that.
team? Was it Jacob? Team Jacob?
No, I was Edward.
You were team.
I was Edward.
Jesus.
You're
How much you've
you're
changed.
Team Sparkly.
I don't think you'd be a Team Everett person now.
Oh,
Would
now?
you be?
No.
Yeah.
When was the last time I watched those movies?
Wait, I got
When I still lived down here?
Lilith, I got a question for you, Lilith. So, have you seen the new the Batman movie?
Yes.
What's your
Yes.
take on that with Robert Pattinson being Bruce
He's
Wayne
too
slash
fucking
Batman?
angsty. He looks like he should be saying it's not a phase, Mom.
Wow.
The man's got eyeliner. But
No,
Batman
I mean,
with
Batman
eyeliner.
should have like the
Yeah.
eye shadow thing, right? I haven't watched the
understand,
movie
but,
yet.
like, take it off. Makeup wipes are a thing. If you're gonna be wearing the makeup, take it off at some point. How do you not have chronic acne?
But also, hold on, this is where it's like the father and daughter thing. You slept with your makeup on so many times. I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm
here
not
we
a
go.
billionaire. I'm not a
but
billionaire.
then again, this is a billionaire. He probably has makeup that just magically come off. Like he puts like a light
True.
over it and just off.
Well, if
just
the
off.
light went over it, then that seems pretty ineffective. But the back to the actual part of the movie, not just necessarily his appearance. I feel like there should be two very distinct versions of Bruce Wayne, and I didn't get that out of this movie. It felt like it was just Batman the whole time. It didn't feel like the billionaire, like playboy Bruce
boy.
Wayne. It just felt like I'm s- I'm still like recovering the
Sad
whole
little
time.
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it still feels like there's too much angst to the billionaire that should be in there, and it's just all vengeance. I understand vengeance is
Vengeance.
important, but you're supposed to if put it this way, if there was 50 billionaires up on a wall and I was supposed to pick out the one who was Batman, no shot. Robert Pattinson would be the first person. He
So
looks it.
you'd pick Elon Musk.
I mean,
Yeah, he's got too many kids.
He
true.
does have a lot of kids.
What is
I
with
didn't
him naming
realize.
his kids the weirdest things? Why is there so many numbers in his kids' names?
So the first like 3 kids, I think, have like fairly normal names, and after that, they all became equations.
Wait a
So
minute,
he's
how
got
many
9
kids does this
kids
man
now.
have?
I think
A
he has
lot.
like
9.
9. Yeah, he has like 9.
He
I
just-
know
he
one of
got
one of them died when they were
twins.
young.
We could kind of segue this into Elon. Hold on, before we do that, I'm just going to say the statement that I'm going to ask Stitch a question. Elon Musk is kind of gross. Actually, is very gross. But Stitch, we got to bring you in. You haven't talked for a minute. You haven't been on the podcast for a minute. Where would you like to go with the podcast right now?
Wherever. What are my
Wherever.
options?
I mean, just
I mean-
whatever you want to talk about, man.
I mean,
Oh,
was there something you haven't brought up that you want to bring up that we might have covered before? You can bring it back up.
I'm trying to think.
There's been a lot of stuff that you missed out on.
Yeah, I'm sure I didn't get a chance to listen last week. I guess you guys went over like Roe versus Wade, I assume,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I'm trying
You
to
got some
think.
thoughts on it? I mean, if you want to speak on it, speak on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been subscribed to the camp of I can't tell a woman what to do with her body or whatever, and I don't feel like I'm in the place to tell a woman what she should do with her body. That's sort of none of my business kind of deal or whatever. If you ask my opinion, maybe I'll give it, but I know it's treading on fucking. It's like playing Minesweeper or whatever. So I just leave it alone. I just think it's fucking wild or whatever. How just fucking one dude set in motion so much fucking catastrophe and chaos or whatever. And I remember back in the day when he got elected, I was like, there's only so much he can do or whatever as president. But, and I remember saying very specifically at the time, I was like, my concern is who he puts on this court or whatever. And the Supreme Court, to me, or whatever, it's always been the most powerful. I mean, they essentially have more power between the group of them than the president or whatever, because they pretty much make the law of the land. And if you start stacking those people with your friends or people of similar interests that you have or whatever, I mean, there's no real checks and balance system for it or whatever. You can't really check the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court's the Supreme Court. It's like ain't nobody above it.
Hold on, this is the problem though. So yeah, I'm totally with you like the whole way. But I think the problem is that I think we're just kind of accepting that nobody can do anything against the Supreme Court. But that's kind of in America that should be bullshit though, because there's supposed to be 3 branches of the government that kind of all check themselves. But I think that we're out of whack in America right now, because it's supposed to be the executive, judicial, and legislative, right? And those should all be checks and balances. But I think there's an issue right now in America where we're all just kind of accepting that the Supreme Court made a decision and then just like, oh, fuck it, that's it. But it's like, where are the checks and balances? I think the problem is that the current administration, which should be the executive branch, and also the legislative branch, they're not really offering up solutions to like really combat this. And I think this is one of the reasons why our founding fathers, with their flaws, that they made a system like this. It's supposed to be checks and balances. And I don't understand why the minority is getting their way in America with these, 6, Supreme Court justices that were not elected by the people. And that is a huge issue.
They essentially found a loophole and they ran with it or whatever, you essentially had a president that was not elected in theory by the
He
people,
wasn't.
the popular vote of the people. So essentially, in practical sense, the person that is placing these people on the court is supposed to be representative of the majority of the people, which in itself was false, because he obviously he won the electoral college, not denying that, but the popular vote he did not win.
Not even by a little
So
bit.
you
I mean,
right.
yeah.
So you have somebody that is making executive decisions for the minority of people, in terms of numbers. And when he's putting those people in the appellate court system, in terms of like hearing cases that get appealed and appealed and appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court or whatever, when you get to the last, this is what I say and this is what goes, because you've gone through your local courts, you've gone through your state appeal court, your state superior court, then you've gone to your state Supreme Court, and then it becomes a federal issue, and then they have to step in and decide if they're going to hear or listen to it or not. Most things don't get heard by the Supreme Court because they just kick it down and they're like, this is a state issue. This is not our fucking, we don't fuck with this or whatever. But this has been sort of forecasted by people saying like, yo, they're going to try to fuck some shit up, and they're going to do some wild crooked shit. And even when these judges were getting confirmed, they were straight up asking them like, yo, are you going to touch Roe versus Wade? And they're straight up saying like, nope, Roe versus Wade was case law.
They should be
It was
impeached.
already decided on.
Yeah.
It was ruled on, and I'm not in the business of overturning case law that was already established and blah blah blah.
There's receipts of
And
them
sure
saying this
enough,
too.
a couple months ago, it got leaked that they got this all drafted up or whatever. They're ready to just drop the fucking email, drop the fucking docket on it,
Hit
and
send.
it got leaked out. People were like, hold up, hold up, hold up, and then a certain political party started trying to say things aren't fair. This is ridiculous that these documents are getting leaked rather than the actual content of what it is that they're trying to do. They're more concerned about why this confidential information got out or whatever.
Let me
Sure.
no finish your last statement, and then I have a question for somebody else.
And then sure enough, fucking day comes, and then boof, fucking overturned. And obviously, this is not going quietly. I have a lot of friends on my Facebook, a lot of female friends that are still livid about this, and they should be. I support their right to be fucking mad. I'd be fucking pissed and livid myself. It sucks that they're having their rights taken away, and I support their fucking anger and ritual.
One quick thing before we just kind of sticking to Roe versus Wade. There was at least I heard a story about a doctor who basically is chartering a boat that was set out in I want to say it's the Gulf of Mexico, where they'll do abortions on the ship out in the middle of the Gulf, because I guess it's international water, so there's nothing that nobody can do. But I mean, I'm not sure what the laws are in these different states, but the fact that I have to get to that level is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sad. But obviously, everybody except for one person on this podcast is a man. So let me ask the young lady on the podcast. I know you're not political at all, but you've heard about Roe versus Wade, right? You know about abortion rights. What are your honest thoughts on this? Even though you probably don't, you might not know like all the background, but how does it make you feel? Like know about you might especially where you live, this could affect you like significantly.
So, first off, it's fucking bullshit. Why does anybody have a say in what the fuck I do with my body? And secondly, am I allowed to state what state I live in?
I mean, yeah, you can.
So I live in Michigan, and it is real fucking purple. There is.
Wait,
so
purple?
they
They smoking out there?
They got the thick giggy.
I like how
Yeah.
my daughter is more political
Right.
than you are. What the?
Yeah, I was like purple.
You don't know what that means, really, Ninja? Is that
No,
right?
I do.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
just
okay.
messing around.
It's. We had a bill in place that said once Roe v. Wade gets overturned, we're banning abortion. My governor is a woman, Governor Whitmer. She has done, or is actively doing everything in her power to overturn this bill, to keep it by keeping every woman in her state safe. Problem is, there are so many fucking people on the board that says, nah, this bill was made a while ago. You've had so many opportunities to fix it. Too late now. It's not too late. Change the fucking bill. I know, it is. Planned Parenthood is not just for abortions. But because of this, every Planned Parenthood near me, I can almost guarantee, is going to be shut down. I've had to go to Planned Parenthood to get a mammogram because I have a lot of cancer in my family. If I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go there and get care, I would have been screwed. I mean, everything was fine, but I would have been fucked, not only if it was breast cancer, but just not knowing at all. Because it is the only place, even remotely near me, where I can get a safe evaluation for free to see if this is an issue that needs to be taken care of. And if abortions do become illegal in my state, then I won't be able to have access to a lot of other things that Planned Parenthood provides, like contraceptives and the ability to get mammograms and just sexual health in general. I would be pretty fucked on. And it's something that the Supreme Court should have never fucked with. They should have never touched. This is none of your business. And to all the states that have already banned it, what the fuck are you doing? I don't think you realize, one, how big of a population of women you have in your state, that the second that you did this, you have fucked every single one of them. There is no excuse. There is no reasoning behind what you did. You just did it because you wanted to. You wanted to go on a little bit of a power trip, and you fucked millions of women in the process. There is no excuse. It's bullshit. Nothing should have been changed. Get your nose out of our business.
I mean, to be honest, there's a reason why I did it, and it's kind of dark. It's really these are my personal opinions, but they're also backed up by like real news stories and like actual facts. It's like a lot of these people that are trying to did overturn successfully Roe versus Wade was, there's a lot of white people and white women, and I'm gonna get into it. It's gonna be kind of fucked up to say, but the population of white people is going down because they're, it's true. They're going to become the minority in America relatively quickly. And then also how do I put this? A lot of these people are saying that, oh, we'll just adopt your kids once you have them. It's like, it goes back to like the slave days and even post-slave days where we're just forcing, black and brown women to just have kids and then having them stolen and raised by white people. And I'm not saying this to be racist towards white people, because it's not all white people, but it's definitely a history in America. If you don't believe me, read some fucking books. All right. And I shouldn't need to have to tell you exactly what book to read. If you're not that interested in actually looking up the actual facts, then we're not in the right spot to even begin. All right. But these are actual true statistics, is that black women in America, especially, and Native people here in America, Native women, they were raped and forced to be, especially black women, were raped and forced to breed kids. And those kids were taken by white families and, quote unquote, adopted. And then having, those same people trying to uplift, having more white babies. It's just like, it's really fucked up. And and I don't get why we're still doing that today. Like 200 years ago, or whatever, it'd have been more acceptable. But people that are rational people today are convinced that this is okay to do. Women are convinced that this is okay to do to them. That, oh yeah, I just hope I don't get raped. I guess, or I'm always gonna have sex with somebody that I want to have sex with, and you know, I'm in a financial spot to have a kid. Literally, weeks after Roe versus Wade got overturned in Ohio, a 10-year-old girl was raped and she was pregnant, and she had to go to Indiana to get an abortion. That is the most extreme example. And people are still like, oh, well, what about the rapist? Bitch, rapists are going to fucking always exist. They're always going to exist. All right, you're never going to stop the rapist. You're not. All right, you can try all you want, but it's still going to fucking happen. Why not protect the women that this can happen to if it happens? Like, and also you're not making, you're also not addressing the problem of dudes that are raping women. Like, if you want to make that point, then I guess be more harsh towards these people, or make different laws, but you're not doing any of that. You're just putting upon the women to force them to have a child, which I shouldn't even have to say this, but like all men, if you have people with a penis, all right, you're not going to know what it's like to have a baby. You're not. How much toll it's going to take in your body? I'm assuming it seems pretty fucking terrible to me as a 42-year-old dude. All right, it seems pretty fucking terrible, like what your body has to go through to, to birth a child, and especially if you're a black woman in America, you are more at risk to die having a child than somebody else. People think that today, oh, it's just so easy to have a kid. No, the fuck it's not. You're saying it's easy to have a kid because you've never had a kid, or you never had a complicated pregnancy, But there's women out there that still die in childbirth, and the vast majority of them are women of color. But people don't really give a fuck, and it drives me nuts that these people that have like literally no empathy for people, and just thinking that being pregnant and literally birthing a new life out of your body is some easy fucking thing. Like it's not like running a marathon. It's way worse than that. Like what are you doing here? Somebody else get in here.
Like, just jump in real quick on personal experience. So I had an ex who she was pregnant for a little bit.
Is it the one that I hate?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, fuck her.
But, yeah.
First of all, keep going.
Well, so there's two parts of the story. So the first part is that there was a point where she was pregnant and she had a miscarriage, and she almost died from it just because she lost hell of blood. It was a bloodbath. I don't really like to talk about it too much, but it was really bad. It was traumatizing. But she almost died. Like, she had to get a bunch of blood transfusions. But with the sweetness herself, for her to give birth to our son, she had to have blood thinners. She had to take injections 2 times a fucking day for basically the entire goddamn pregnancy. She had to take fucking shots. Could you imagine that? 2 times a day, you had to get fucking poked with a needle, and it's the injections that can't remember the what medications they had her inject with, but it burned every time she was injected. It burned, and it always had to be in different spots, either on the right side or left side. But as she got bigger, she couldn't do it in her stomach anymore, so she had to do it somewhere else. And then I don't know, just having a baby is fucking hard. I mean, I'm not saying it's hard for me, but for a lady, the toll on her body and her hormones and estrogen levels and all these different things, and it's crazy. And then after facts, once the kid's here, you gotta feed the kid. Breastfeeding isn't fucking easy. Hollywood the media makes breastfeeding seem like it's a piece of fucking cake. The baby, you just naturally just be able to pop that baby on the tit and just. It takes months. It takes months to figure that out, how to properly breastfeed. But then there's women who can't breastfeed, so they have to switch over to formula. We had a fucking formula shortage during this pandemic. What could you imagine if there was thousands more kids where moms couldn't find formula for their kids because they couldn't feed them? I don't want to say abortions is a way of population control, but it just some people just aren't ready to have a kid. It's just not in their cards right now.
Yeah.
Yes, further down the road it'll work out, but just I don't know. It's just nuts, man. It's really nuts how this whole thing played out.
Yeah, sorry, I had to mute while like on my microphone because I had to ask my daughter if I could tell a personal story. So when she was born, she couldn't breastfeed. So that was like one of, and it's like people just assume that all these things are just like, oh, it's so natural and blah 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 blah. But it's like no, like uh, if we didn't live, in modern times, she would have died because she couldn't feed from her mother. But people just take for granted that there's baby formula, which there's a shortage of. So just imagine like this is a recent thing that came up, and just imagine shit like that of like they don't take into account that not every pregnancy is first of all successful, and that second of all the baby is going to be viable or healthy or whatever. There's literally babies that are fetuses that are out there that can literally kill the mother when the fetus is not even viable. And they've outlawed even that. Like when you talk about ectopic pregnancies, like it's not viable at all. But you talk to these stupid ass dudes and even some stupid ass women that have no idea what the fuck it even means. But it's like it's not even in the uterus. So this fetus can never even grow into a person, but you still cannot abort it in certain states. It's pure ignorance that's out there, and it makes me so fucking angry that I'm stuck on a planet with fucking morons.
And even when it comes to baby food or baby formula shortages, I was allergic to certain baby foods.
Yeah.
And it caused issues with me. So even if we weren't in a baby formula shortage, even if I would have when I didn't latch, it still took a while for us to figure out what I could and what I couldn't eat. And even now, I have issues. My stomach has issues with soy. Like soybeans, I'm fine, but any soy replacement for milk, it still messes with my stomach to this day. It's not as easy as yes, there's a baby food shortage or baby formula shortage. I keep messing that up. Not even just the shortage. If it was every other type of formula that was out there that did work for me or that didn't work for me, and that one shortage was out, I still would have been messed up. I would have been a starving baby because I couldn't eat anything else. And even not in just modern times, I am a mixed child. And either back 200 years ago, either I would have been put back to being a slave,
Not even
Bird of the
200
cross.
years.
or I would have died.
It's not even 200 years. If you go back maybe 80 years, like me and your mom when you're not even 80, probably like fucking 60. Like when was
I was gonna
like,
say,
I think it's 60 years where like it was
Yeah.
interracial marriage was literally illegal. So
actually, I want between 50 to 62 years. Yeah, in
Yeah.
between that. It's
I'm
not even
looking
that.
up-
That's as old as a lot of people's parents currently.
But then, also, we're talking about woman's choice and blah blah blah, this and that. But for my mom,
See
it's
that?
a little
Hold on.
personal story with
Sorry,
me. So,
it's 1967 is when interracial marriage was legal. 1967. It's literally 12 years before I was born. That's fucking insane.
that is fucking crazy. Shit. I was born in '55, so anyway, so I was saying, yeah, for my personal situation, my mom got pregnant, and at the time my dad was married with somebody else. Personal information, so. And he had asked her to get an abortion, and she was like, "Well, no, I'm not going to get an abortion because pro-choice, it's her right. She can do what she wants with her body." But she didn't come after him for anything. But it should have had an abortion. I wouldn't be here. And then people bring that up, oh, if if Mary had an abortion, Jesus wouldn't be here. Then it's like, well, if not Obama, if Saddam Hussein, is that his name? If he was aborted, he would be here. So
Hold
it's
on, come rewind for just a second. When people that say, because I've heard this argument before, if Mary had an abortion, she wouldn't have Jesus. But Mary didn't even give consent to have a baby. It's like, what are we talking about here?
yeah,
She
that's true.
literally, first of all, we're pretending that Mary existed. Which, if you're religious, I'll just whatever. But you can't say if she had an abortion, like it was. First of all, it was even an option back in fucking, before
BC.
yeah, it's like before it was before Christ. So like
Back in BC, back in my day.
yeah, there's literally no option for an abortion. So it's a fucking dumbass argument. And then second of all, like she didn't give consent. Like
Hold on, there was. What we used to do is we'd go to the beach and just push them off the cliff. Yeah, just push them off the cliff. Yeah, this is also just big mule.
Wait,
kick right off the edge.
quick
Done.
question. Like, everybody had a calendar that said, like, when Jesus was going to be born. Like, it even counted down, like, thousands of years before he was born. Like, there was, like 2000 BC, like, before Christ. So they knew, like, the Flintstones, they knew Jesus was going to be born.
yeah, yeah. We don't. There was a whole different calendar back then. But yeah, a bunch of different calendars back then.
But yeah, it's all in all, it should be a woman's choice of what happens to her body.
I do wonder.
Not
Sorry, I do wonder the
I was
history.
gonna say-
I'd love to like see the history on
Go ahead, Liv.
when we finally decided on one consensus for a calendar.
Well, we haven't. First of all,
I know there's certain places that haven't, but like
no. Even in America, we have different calendars.
Huh?
You don't know about the Julian calendar?
The Luna's calendar.
It's a real thing. We use it in the military. The Julian calendar. It's kind of weird, right? Learn something new every fucking day. Yeah.
Military's gotta do everything different. You have
Yeah.
different ways to read a clock, different calendars. The clock makes sense though.
Yeah, this is the Julian calendar, which we use in the military. It's fucking dumb, but yeah.
What's the time that they use in the military? I know it's military time, but it's not just that. Like, they actually do they use the global time?
No,
in the military?
we don't. No, we still go by time zones, but the military time is just it's 24-hour time, which is kind of easy because I just subtract 2 once it gets past noon. But yeah, it's.
I remember there was a few laws that
too,
they were trying to pass where they would use a global time. Like, right now it would be like
Isn't that the
Damn.
UTC?
Yeah,
us.
you can't do global time is not going to work
That's
on a
stupid.
spinning ball. But yeah, that'll never work.
You know, now that
What are
I
you talking about?
the whole reason why it was
What's
brought
been
up is because, like, especially with like the internet nowadays, like people are having like international calls here and there, like, like, oh, I got a call at 4 a.m., which is 4 a.m. here, but it's actually like 6 p.m. in like Tokyo or something like that. But like, you wouldn't say 4 a.m. I'll say like I'll have a call at 6 p.m. even though it's nighttime. I don't know. When I heard about it, I was like, this is dumb as fuck. It's hard to even wrap your brain around that. It's like almost thinking like of metrics versus U.S. standard for distance and shit like that. Like, it just does. I understand it wouldn't work, but I just thought it'd be interesting to see how would a global clock work for the entire world, even though we'd be different.
Yeah, I'm all for getting rid of daylight savings time, but as far as like time zones go, like you need time zones because it's just we're on a sphere, and yeah, the sun is just at different times.
I mean,
It also brings the question, like, do we really need it? Because it's like time zone only work because we're not that we're in a different sphere. It's just that we're used to AM and PM, and like, if it's PM, it's daytime. If it's AM, it's nighttime. Like, I think it's almost, I don't know how to explain it.
Well,
We're just accustomed to it being a certain way.
well, it's not that we're accustomed to it. It's just like human beings need to sleep, and that's the main thing. Like for most people, you need 8 hours of sleep usually. So that's when you see like the normal like time periods, and like so if we were up all the time, yeah, it wouldn't be an issue. Like certainly get rid of all the time zones and like just do this fucking thing. But because we need sleep, that's why we need, and that is ingrained into our brains, right?
circadian rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to rest your body, or are you gonna fucking die if you don't get enough sleep over like, I think it's
Yes.
like 4 or 5 days. You'll just fucking die. So
Pretty much.
Hallucinations
I think it's
are
long.
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, you will enter psychosis after a certain amount of days, and then I think it's after 8 days or something. If you're awake for 8 days, you're probably gonna die on the 9th or 10th day. It's really wild.
Yeah, now that I think about it, the whole calendar thing, the calendar that we use at work, not like personal calendars, but the calendars that we use for like pin stamping on the parts that I make, they just go by like straight numbers. Like this is the 365th day of the year.
That's Julian.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
You realize how small that is? I'm blind.
I mean, I can see it.
So we should just go full Star Trek and start doing star dates. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, if we start doing space travel more, that would make a lot of sense.
You know, it's crazy when I first started working with a corporation and they started talking about like fiscal year. Like I didn't understand exactly what it meant. 'cause I
Fiscal
always
year. It
compared
sounded like
to
you said
a
physical
calendar
year. Fiscal year.
Yeah, fiscal
I mean,
year. Yeah.
Years are just mental.
I always compared it to like the calendar year, and apparently they're two fucking days.
No.
They're two different.
Yeah. Like in the military, the fiscal year stopped at like it's in October, I think it is, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but
Yeah, I was working at Cisco, and I think that their fiscal year starts in August. I want to say, if I remember correctly. Which I was like, wait, what? This doesn't make any fucking sense.
Can someone define a
But yeah.
fiscal year for me? I don't know what that is.
it's just like
It's made up
now
year.
that I think about it, it's actually really fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because
It's
it's all
basically it basically comes down to financial like money, basically. Like so, a company, at least that's what I understood it meant. So basically, a company could say like, oh, okay,
I get the
our
real definition.
calendar year is going to end in August, so all the money we said we're going to make, it all comes to the end at the end of August, and the next year will be was it September 1st? Will be their new year. So any money they make after that is the next year's profit.
So here's
One.
this is hilarious because I'm going to read this from the Oxford Dictionary. This definition is so fucking antiquated, but it's still relevant. It's just the words that they use is fucking stupid.
Can I say it in a funny voice?
What's up?
Can I say it in a funny voice?
Go ahead. You can read that?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do it in the old-timey voice.
Oh, old timey voice? A year as reckoned for taxing or accounting purposes.
There you go.
That sounded more British than old timey, but
British is old-timey.
I was
close enough. Yeah.
Also, fuck Britain.
God damn.
I really
They
I
lost.
would expect it to be like an essay or some shit like that.
No, it's super short. It depends on what your
Some profit.
for taxing purposes and accounting. So in the military, it ended in October because I think it was before like elections and shit like that, and actually when they had fiscal budgets come out for the military, so they had to have it before all that came out, or maybe slightly after, but
So,
no, it would have had to been before. Yeah.
question. If we changed what time the elections were, would it change the fiscal year for the military?
Yes, 100%. It would.
It will also affect international business as well.
Yeah. Stitch, is there a fiscal year for the police department? Do you know?
Yes, normally it's pretty much the around like it used to be like January 6th ish, like after
Yeah.
everybody comes back from like holidays or whatever. Normally that's when like everything yeah it was, yeah, 'cause it's, yeah,
I mean, that's what
it's like when all the budget stuff gets passed. Normally it coincides with everything,
local
the,
budgets. Local budgets get
yeah,
passed.
with the city budgets.
Yeah. It's,
That's when the new
Stitch.
contracts get done.
Stitch, have you seen any of these current films that are out there? I know you've been talking big about wanting to see Top Gun Maverick. Did you even get a chance to see this?
I'm so pissed.
I hate that movie.
Oh,
Hold on.
oh.
You're pissed? I mean, have you watched it or did you watch it?
I watched half of it.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
oh shit.
Yeah,
Here,
well,
see, here's the story.
I'm pissed for you.
yeah.
This is
So
like
me and,
the Infinity War story. Remember that shit?
Yeah, me and the professor went to go watch it. Have you guys all seen it?
I have.
I seen it.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it.
Has Blue seen
I
it?
haven't seen it yet, but go into it.
So I'm loving it. I'm like, this is fucking dope. It's not corny with the nostalgia stuff or whatever. It's not heavy handed. It's doing the right amount of Easter eggs and all kinds of shit. I was like, oh shit, so that's who that person is. Oh damn. And then fucking right when he goes and talks to like Val Kilmer or whatever,
Yep.
fucking fire alarm starts
Val
going
Kilmer
off
in
in the movie theater. Yeah.
Never
well, I
Val
mean,
in it?
Yeah,
So wait, what so Val Kilmer is in the new Maverick movie or
yes,
Top
he
Gun Maverick,
is.
right?
He's in Talking
Is
Maverick.
he talking through like the little?
Not gonna say, not
CGI
gonna
No.
spoil
process?
it.
If you know his
Oh, that must be
situation,
CGI
you
then.
should kind of already know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, he's in it or whatever, which is dope and everything, and the fucking everybody in the audience is fucking loving the movie. You can just tell it's and then fucking the fire alarm starts going off in the middle of the fucking theater
Oh
and shit.
goddamn.
And they fucking evacuated. It was a Friday night, and I don't like doing crowded movie
fuck.
theaters and shit like that. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, or whatever. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here, kind of deal. And like it was really fucking weird because I went with Ryan. Normally I don't go with the professor. Normally I don't go. I only go to movies on like Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays, first showing or whatever. Or if it's like a new movie that comes out, I'll watch it like the following morning. Like if they're doing an early release on Thursday,
Thursday.
I'll go
Eighty.
watch it. I'll go watch it Friday morning first thing or whatever. And yeah, so everybody got evacuated from the fucking theater. It's like it's going on like 7, 8 o'clock. So now it's about to be like super late, and the fucking fire department's coming out, and we had just fucking left. I was aggravated. So no, I haven't got a chance to go back and rewatch it. I'm about, I would say about a third of the way through, maybe half, I guess.
You're more than half.
Okay.
You're more than half. You're like you had like another quarter left, roughly.
Okay, because they're training for the mission and stuff like that. And yeah, so I was like, "Fuck, this is so good."
Yeah.
Other than that, I did watch Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Mom.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. I was not really big on the first Doctor Strange all too much. It was all right, but this one I was fucking Wanda's that bitch. Or whatever. She is not to be fucked with or whatever. And they sort of dialed her up a little bit in the movie, obviously not to the level of what she is in the comics and stuff like that, because she's a fucking force. But they did start to show off like how much of a fucking problem she is if she wants to be. Which was really dope and awesome to see. So I was enjoying that. And I don't think there's another movie I wanted to watch, but I didn't get a chance to see. I'm trying to think what other new one came out.
You saw Spider-Man, I take it.
Spider-Man? Yeah. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, but you haven't been on since a while ago.
Yeah.
You've been gone for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually about to try to rewatch it again. I was gonna like order it just so I could watch it. I might order it tomorrow. I'm supposed to be out in like Reading or whatever, but
Oh shit, that's hella
I'm not
far.
gonna watch it. Yeah, it's gonna be a not fun drive.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick was one of the two films that I've saw in the last 6 months where everybody applauded at the end. So you don't really get that a whole lot. The last movie where people applauded at the end was Spider-Man No Way Home. So those two movies had a lot of applause.
I gotta be honest. I'm gonna let everybody know. I think that Top Gun is the single greatest recruiting film of all time. Both of them.
Oh, guaranteed.
100%.
Guaranteed.
Like there's
100%.
gonna be a whole new crop of fucking kids right now. I want to be a goddamn fighter pilot, even though nobody's gonna be a fighter pilot anymore. But it's all good. Don't let them know that. All right. Don't let them know that you could be way more likely to be a drone pilot and nobody's doing fucking fighter. Even though there's an F-35 Lightning too, but you have to be like top of the top of the top of the top of the top to fucking fly that shit. I'm just saying. People are gonna join the military just to be a fighter pilot. And like the movie is very compelling. It'd be fun as shit to like be a fighter pilot and somehow survive getting shot down a couple of times. But
Couple times.
yeah.
I've actually met some veterans that have been shot down and survived.
Oh,
It was actually they fought in
have
World
all
War
their
II.
limbs?
Yeah, he did. He was he was treated like royalty when people were talking to him because he was like talking about when he went to an air show and he saw a Japanese Zero and he like almost attacked because he said he shot a couple of those down, but one of them shot him down and he was able to get rescued. So he had like literally a line of people, a legit like line of people just to shake his hand and thank him.
So, I met a guy who was very unassuming when I was in Iraq. He was a Vietnam veteran. I didn't even know this when I met him because it seems like he was a out of shape older guy, and apparently he was an OP, basically like an observer, and not even an observer. He flew what's called a little bird. It's a really tiny fucking helicopter, and his had like guns on it and
Oh.
shit. And he got shot down 8.5 times. He got shot down 8.5 times, and I met this
Wait.
man.
What's the half?
What's the half?
The half was he got shot down, and he had bullets in his shit, and he landed. He got out of the fucking helicopter, looked around, and was like, "We can still fly." Picked it back up and made it back to base.
God dang.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I was like,
Damn.
"Holy shit!" Like this dude,
Well,
he could have been
I was
fucking
gonna say,
Jesus.
my
but
my
Jesus
father-in-law was a pilot for Lilo's father was a Air Force pilot. Flew the A-10, which is like a big
The
fucking
tank
in
killer.
the sky. Yeah.
Yeah, the
it's a-
tank killer.
Wait, you said
Yeah.
A-10? He's a Warthog pilot?
Yes.
Holy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
holy shit! Wait, was he in the Marine Corps? No, Air Force.
No, Air Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their whole family's at Air Force. Whatever. Brother's retired as a commander. Yeah. What's the one with the bird? Colonel, commander? I forget.
Well, it depends on what you're in, but yeah, usually it's a colonel.
Okay.
But
yeah,
but
he
if you're
retired
but
as,
if you're in the Navy, it's a captain.
yeah, he crashed an A-10 or whatever, and he was explaining to me their ejection sort of thing is a whole fucking box that just fucking goes out of it. It's not a seat. It's like
Yeah.
a whole fucking
Oh, the whole.
The whole canopy comes out.
whole canopy comes out. And he crashed that over somewhere over like Siberia-ish or whatever. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
After you watched Top Gun, did you bust out Ace Combat? Did you bust out Ace Combat? I was like, yo, man.
Oh yeah, I
That's great.
put
Like,
it back
like,
and I was
everybody's
playing it.
got, like the Madden games and the Call of Duties. Fucking the Ace Combat games are still the fucking best.
Hold on,
franchise game.
real quick. The A-10 Warthog is actually really amazing aircraft because it's literally an aircraft that's designed around a fucking gun. It's designed around this Gatling gun that shoots depleted uranium rounds. I forget the size of the actual round. It's been a minute since I've actually seen one, but literally, like when you shoot the fucking gun, the entire aircraft slows down. And like I've heard them being shot, and you do not want it. I mean, if you get hit by it, you're not going to hear it, but hearing it is fucking terrifying because it's like, and then just like death and destruction, like every fucking where. Is there? Go ahead.
Quick question for that plane. If they shoot, or is it a helicopter or a plane?
It's an airplane, but it's like
Okay.
it looks like a fighter,
So if they're-
but not really. Yeah,
It's pretty.
It's
It's
already-
awesome looking.
already-
The twin
it's
dual
already
jet
started
engines in the back.
down.
It's literally looks like it has nothing but armaments on each wing.
So
But yeah, so is there a certain shoot, and it was within a certain amount? Because I imagine if a bullet
hold
slows
on.
it down.
Say what you just said again. There was like breakup. Say what you said again.
Okay, so you mentioned how every time it shoots a bullet, it slows it down just slightly. Like I mean, I'm assuming that it can't shoot like 100 bullets like back to back to back to back because I think eventually it'll lose its forward momentum and just fucking fall.
No, it shoots a shitload of rounds in seconds. I'll look it up real quick, but yeah, go ahead.
correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong, but isn't this the one where it shoots so many at a time that it starts depleting the engine of oxygen, and then they have to have a backup generator right behind it to basically start the second that the original generator goes off?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, I'm thinking about a
Like the
different.
Gatling gun is like in the nose.
I'm thinking of a
Yep.
different one now.
It's this huge Gatling gun right underneath. Yeah, I think it's huge. It's actually pretty awesome.
So I'm looking at the rate of fire. So it shoots 4,000 rounds a minute. So yeah, that's what
Okay,
I said.
that
Like
would-
the noise that I'm talking about, like it shoots so fucking fast, it sounds like a loud ass fart that is gonna just destroy something. And they're very large rounds. It's 30 millimeter rounds. It's fucking big. Like the bullets they're sending at you are very large.
How many milliliters do you or What was the size of the bullet?
30 millimeters.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if one of them hits you, your funeral is gonna be a closed casket.
Yeah, so that's
Yep.
it's about an inch diameter round, which is for a fucking bullet is quite large. So yeah.
I found I don't know if, I mean, this seems like it's kind of accurate or whatever for like comparison size wise or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a 50 cal, right?
Oh, it said that's a 30. I guess that's
It's a
what
30?
the,
Oh,
the
okay.
fucking thing it shoots.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
looks.
Oh, shit.
I would
That's
gladly
the
go
guy.
through
Oh,
extensive training.
I see the hand now. Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
30 millimeter. Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but Liz is on a podcast. I can't really say it. I'm gonna say it. I've seen dildos bigger. than that.
I think we all have, but I'm just saying.
I think I
Yeah.
need a
That's
joke.
wild.
I need to get one of
Uh,
those as a paperweight.
It
Book
has
this
a
around.
That'd be
Wait.
shitting me.
The bullet or a dildo? Let's be honest.
No, the bullet.
Oh shit!
I would
Oh,
gladly go through an extensive amount of training just to learn how to shoot that fucking weapon.
I would too.
Just any
Yeah, I
weapon that
think-
would hold a caliber that large.
I think the closest would be
I-
the Barrett.
I think the to be able to shoot it would be cool, but like actually to use it for its purpose,
No,
I would
I'm
be
good.
cool
I'm
with-
good on that
yeah.
aspect. I don't want that responsibility. I just want to shoot it once. Just to like say that I
you
did
shoot
it.
it like into a mountainside or like a beat up car that's at the end of the fucking range. Yeah, that
Yeah,
could be.
if you Google like A10 or whatever, and it shows like some of the damage, like what it does to a tank, there's one right there. It's like
Yeah,
fucking.
the tank killer.
it just
If there's a
sh-
discontinued
just
tank
Swiss
that I can
cheese.
shoot, that Merry Christmas to me, because that's all I want.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can in Texas. They give you like one of the small tanks. You can shoot it into a small hill.
God, if it wasn't Texas,
Yeah, of
anywhere
course
but
it's
Texas.
Have y'all been watching The Boys? I know. Blue,
Yeah.
you've been watching.
Yes, I'm all
Holy
caught
shit.
up on the boys.
Woo,
Let me go get me
boy.
a drink. I'll be right back.
Oh, here we go.
Lil, do you watch The Boys?
So I did back in like season 2, but I no longer have
Oh, yeah.
Amazon Prime Video. At least
Oh.
I might. So like, I have subscription services that I just don't know that I have them.
Well, do you have Prime like in general? Because you have to have Prime.
I don't,
Like-
but I'm not entirely positive that I don't have somebody else's.
Well, your
Oh.
dad has it, so you gotta
Yeah,
figure
but-
out.
say your dad has it.
if I go to sign into something and it autofills for me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Didn't know I had that. But
Okay.
that's
Well,
pretty
with
much
Pri-
how
with
I
Prime-
did that.
With Prime Video, if you have Amazon Prime, like to buy stuff, then you have Amazon Prime Video.
I do not have
Because
Amazon.
you buy
Prime.
stuff with Amazon, you have Prime.
I think
Yeah, then-
in
yeah, you can't
total,
watch it.
I've Amazoned maybe 10 things. I very rarely ever
Yeah,
use
once you get Amazon
Amazon.
Prime, that just goes out the window.
And the
Yeah.
one of those 10 times
Yeah,
that I bought something off
The Boys.
Amazon, it never got to me. So
That was still
I'm not surprised. Yeah, Kronos, have you been watching The Boys as well or no?
I got to catch up. You all right?
Oh man,
Oh man.
Fuck you, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, I just man, I need to find. So it's hard for me to watch. If there's any kids home, I literally cannot watch the show in this garage.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
like, I told you where I stopped. It was like a guy
yeah.
going in a guy's dick hole. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
how am I gonna
episode one.
explain to a 12 and 14-year-old like, yo, I'm not watching. Oh, well, I mean, but you know, it's not really a dick, but it's a dick, but.
But it's not really because it's fake. It's CGI, but
Yeah.
it's not real.
Well,
But it looks
what
like
you
a
need to-
dick. But
What you need to do is bust back out your ACC Vive and watch it there, and just watch it with one headphone in. 'Cause
I have it actually.
Yeah.
I brought
it's
it.
fucking-
It's one thing that I didn't pack was my Vive. So maybe I can do that, and just do like my
Seriously,
whole
man, like-
thing on virtually.
oh man,
It's
I really want to talk because I finally got to finish the season, and it was wild, super
Yeah.
wild. Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna
But-
make it a priority to like try to watch it. Maybe I will hook up my Vive just for this.
Oh, yeah. That'll be
Hero
wild.
Gasm was probably the best episode. Like
That's
even
what-
the
that's what I
finale was
heard.
good, but Hero Gasm was like holy shit! Like there was a lot of shit that happened. But
Yeah,
the season
but
finale was like,
season finale
goddamn.
was really season finale was really good. I was actually super impressed. We get to see Butcher a lot more unhinged in this season.
I mean,
Like
He
he
was,
like the gloves are off
he
for
should have
him.
been unhinged in season one. I mean, like after he knew that, after he thought at least that Homelander raped his wife.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
no,
it's interesting because Butcher this season, he's kind of, I kind of didn't like him. Like, not the fact that he's like an asshole, but like he just seemed to. He was up Soldier Boy's ass, basically. Like he was really jerking off Soldier Boy to get shit fucking done. It's like, yo, you're fucking Butcher, man. Like you fucking hate supers, but you have this fucking super you're fucking sucking up to. And I was like,
yeah, he
that's,
knew,
that's,
but
that's, that's what I like.
he knew what he had to do. To him, Super Soldier Boy was a weapon, and he was going to use him until the weapon did its job. Then
Was it like a weapon with a shaft and a mushroom tip?
oh
saying.
god dang! I mean, that's what Hero Gasm was for.
Sorry.
If you're
daughter
old,
isn't-
maybe yeah.
Sorry for y'all that are listening. My daughter is not in the room right now. That's why I made that joke.
Yeah.
Mushroom tip, but yeah. I guess with no sport, what did y'all think overall of the season from the two of y'all that watched it, Stitch and Blue?
I liked it. It was really good. I like it. It was story was really well told. I mean, I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything, but there was a lot of really good surprises. In certain ways, I think I liked this season of The Boys better than I liked season 4 of Stranger Things.
Ooh, don't let Prodigy
Fucking
hear
high
you.
praise
You might
right
freak
there.
out. Yeah, Prodigy might
Yeah.
freak out.
Oh, so you know what's
Yeah, I mean-
crazy is that I've read the recent run of The Boys, and I have to say that so far, like the show is way better than the comics. Like it's really weird to say, but it's like one of those things to where it is rare, but they've surpassed. For me, I've read the original run of The Boys. All right, but the show is so much better than the comics that I've read.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, with this season, like, yeah, it's definitely it's been off the fucking chain. It started off fucking just ground running, like with the dude fucking running up beside the dick. But then we have the shit that goes with the Deep. Like every character had like their own little story or arc that's going on. Like the Deep, his shit's all fucked up. I mean, we knew this guy was an asshole from the get go, but in this season, you kind of want to feel like he's kind of get a redemption. But then again,
Nope.
it's all fucking bad.
No redemption for that fool.
I thought wasn't he
fuck
fucking
it.
octopus or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He
yeah,
does. He sure was.
He tried to have a threesome with an octopus, and I was like, "Wait, what? How does that work?"
I mean,
Oh,
technically,
and
first of all, but
Yeah, and they tried to show you how it works, and you're just like, "What
Yeah.
is this really happening? Is this really gonna happen on TV? Holy shit!"
Like with I was gonna say Stargirl. Oh, what's her name? Starlight.
Starlight, yeah.
Yeah, Starlight. Like character she's like the goody of the group. I kind of want to see some crazy shit happen with her. But yeah, I don't know. We got to learn more about every character on the show this season. Like even from Huey to Starlight to even the Japanese girl. Like it's interesting with her because like she paint herself as being like a fucking monster, but then eventually she kind of realized like you don't really have to be a monster. But then again, it's like sometimes you got to be the monster. Like it's just interesting in her story arc that happens and her relationship with Frenchie. But then also we get to learn about Frenchie's little backstory, which is kind of cool. Like we knew he had like a secret life in the past before he met Butcher, but like the shit that he went through was like, goddamn, like this shit fucked up. But like the whole running gag with him wanting to see Hero Gasm is fucking hilarious. And when he finds out about it, it's like it's really fucking cool. But yeah, this season was really good. I really can't wait till season 4.
You mean season 5? Or is it season
it-
4?
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking
Season 4,
Stranger
yeah.
Things. Yeah, season 4.
But yeah. Like, yeah, The Boys it's probably one of my favorite like comic book based show. Like Walking Dead was up there for a while. I know it's not a comic book story or whatever, but um, True Blood was another good story based show that I thought was really good. But like, yeah, The Boys it's almost better than it's probably better than like the Marvel movies at this point, Marvels
Wow.
and DC. Like the shit they do is like, wow, like holy shit. I, the main reason why I say that is because I feel like The Boys is really it's really built in like not real life, but like to see a superhero with powers be bad seems like that's what would really happen in real life, in my opinion.
Mm.
Yeah, what's your take on Old Ninja?
Yeah, pretty much what you and Stitch were saying. Definitely characters we did not get a whole lot of background on. We see a lot of stuff. We see some of them are actually kind of crazy. We see some that are wholly damaged. We see some that had tragedy in their life. There's a bunch of new characters this season. Some of them get ended up all messed up. You know, A Train, we get to see more into him. Before he was just an ass, but then you kind of see why he's an ass, and then he tries to make it right, and it just doesn't work out for him. Um,
If I remember correctly, didn't he shove like a bunch of heroin needles into his girlfriend's arm? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he did.
he killed her.
you can't really
Yeah.
recover from that kind of
But then,
assholery.
but then
Yeah,
again, she did
but
kill a
he
guy.
On
She
Yeah.
accident,
killed a,
yeah, she sat on
yeah.
his face.
She was
he
hyped
died
up
an
on D,
honorable
but
death.
that makes sense.
If there's anything we
Dead by
learned
spoons.
from Game of Thrones is that you can completely turn a character around from a horrible piece of shit
True.
Yeah,
to a
yeah.
fucking a hero at the end.
What's that?
Like
The,
fucking
the one Lannister,
episode
the guy
one.
lost his hand.
Theon.
Jamie.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jamie
Jamie
Lannister, yeah.
pushed the
Oh,
kid
him
out the
too.
window in episode one, and then by the end we were all fucking almost pretty much rooting for him. And shit
Yeah.
like
That kid
that.
deserved it.
Uh,
Oh, he's
Cockless-
fine.
Each their
People
own.
know that.
He
Cockless
still
was the
stands as an
same
asshole
way.
to me.
Who?
Oh,
Jamie Lannister. Still don't like him.
yeah.
I mean, that's what we're talking about, though.
Yeah, but
So-
Theon is another one. Theon, he had a crazy arc. Like he started out okay, then he dipped down, and then he came back up. He redeemed himself.
Daenerys.
He also, I feel like
And
you're,
actually-
I feel like you're not saying something about Theon Great. He lost his fucking dick.
Cockless?
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I call it.
They
His
cut
name
shit
to me
off
is
like it was
Cockless.
sausage.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost all of his cockiness.
Yeah, but oh wait, I don't know what the fucking thing is. Where's the? Oh, that's. Oh, you can't hear it that well.
No, I can't hear it at all.
God damn
It's
it.
just the snare. It's not the.
No, it is the whole thing.
Uh,
I think you got turned down. It's the.
There we
you go. And then we get the. Afterwards. Y'all can't hear it, but we can.
No. Yeah, Stitch is right. Daenerys was another one. Daenerys was supposed to be the savior, and everybody really, really, really wanted her to hook up with her nephew and have kids, and they got all mad when it didn't work out that way. So,
I don't care what
You know.
the situation is. Incest is never okay. That's still gross as fuck.
tell that to the fans that got all bent out of shape.
Tell that to Europe.
We're not in Europe. Just go across the street. Stop going across the hall.
Damn. So
That's the
yeah,
weird thing about the Bible. It's like they don't really talk about like, okay, Adam and Eve had kids, but if they were the first people,
Incest babies. Lots of incest babies.
yeah. What happened after that?
back to the Boys. Yeah, this is really good written series. The introduction of Soldier Boy I thought was gonna like kind of dilute the series, but it did the complete opposite. I was like, holy snap! So it was a really great story arc. Even though it was only like what 8 episodes for the fourth season or
it's
third
so
season.
short.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on, there's one thing I gotta know. All right, I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I need to know: does at any point does Soldier Boy Superman that hoe?
Oh yes,
yes,
Yes, he
he
does.
does.
See it.
All right,
He's Superman a bunch of hoes,
but does
and
he
they're
go?
all
Ooh, I bet he did the dance.
No, he's already done by the time you see what happens. It's actually pretty hilarious too. But yes, this has been a great season. I think season 4 will probably try to top it. I don't know how it's going to be wild and crazy. I'm looking forward to the next season.
Yeah.
So
I need
I guess.
Invincible to come back.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that should be
yeah. Have
interesting.
you watched that?
Oh,
Team what?
Invincible.
Invincible.
You should watch that.
Couldn't.
It's quite good.
I've watched a multitude of the fight scenes numerous times,
Watch
but
the
that's
whole
because of
show.
Okay.
YouTube and nothing else.
Watch the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you said
Yeah.
you don't have Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean you have the internet, so
I know.
Yeah,
figure it out.
Yeah, I keep like missing stuff.
You don't have to miss. If you have the internet, you can literally. If you have time,
Do you know how many parts there is to every episode? YouTube, it's part 1, part 2, part 3 through 9.
see, this is where
to watch it.
you've already failed here.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
pirating. I'm not ruining my good laptop.
back in our day.
You're not gonna. What are you talking about?
I'm not ruining my good laptop.
I haven't
with
ruined any of my anythings by pirating.
There's only been one app that I, one
we're,
website
we're,
that I found.
so we're not promoting pirating. We're just saying there are
I mean,
avenues that
she's
exist.
scared of internet
that-
AIDS. I mean, it's you know,
It's a fair.
it's valid. Internet AIDS is a thing.
Yeah, it's a
so
valid,
Any
that's a
form of
valid
AIDS should be
concern.
feared.
yeah.
We should be like, look, check this out. When we were young, you would download 20 parts of an anime series that was only 30 minutes long.
Yep.
Every
Yeah,
one would be like 5
If you
minutes.
and if you were
ridiculous.
smart, you would find like the little a merger of something that would merge all the files.
WinRAR.
Once you put them in order.
Oh yeah,
It's one of them. I had MPEG. I had MPEG merger, which merged MPEGs like within seconds.
But would you
Worked out
download a
pretty
car?
well.
yeah.
Download a what?
When
A car?
A car.
But would you download a car?
Look at this. This is like a new like. I've heard that before.
Yeah, it was a meme.
No, it wasn't a meme. It was
Yeah.
actually. It was
That's
actual.
where I know it from.
No,
It's a file extension. Car is actually a
That's where
file.
I know
No.
it from.
that is not what she's talking about.
Oh,
It's a meme on a real thing. Like this is literally like.
Was
It was-
like
it was trying to get-
anti-pirating?
Yes, it was trying to
No,
get
it
people
was-
to stop pirating, which is hilarious. All right, listen, this is a true story.
it's
When I
called
was in-
pirating is a crime.
When I was in Iraq, they played the same stupid ass fucking video. Would you pirate? Would you download a blah 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 blah? Well, like literally, there was a thing called a bazaar on every single military base in Iraq, where you could buy illegal movies for like. I got the entire fucking Disney catalog at the time, in like 2008, for like $15, and that same video was in there.
They were
Would you download a car? Well, I mean, if I could, then yes, bitch, I would. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you had a screen printer,
Were those the physical copies?
No.
yeah,
I have those.
you probably
I
do.
have those.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I've never seen
I mean,
that.
nowadays you literally could download a car. Like you can because there was
3D
a
screen print.
group that they built a car that's all 3D printed, and everybody shares like their specs and stuff for 3D printing. So yeah, you probably could download a car now.
Yeah, you can download. You can download the specs for a gun.
Yeah, basically.
You can also make certain things out of like coat hangers for other
Yeah.
shit.
So I think
Like,
Cronus
Rainbow
and I-
Trigger.
we're the only ones watching Solar Opposites. I know you watched the first 2 seasons or whatnot.
Yes, I did. It's a really good
I watched it.
show, but I haven't
Yeah,
watched the latest
watching
ones
it.
yet.
Yeah, the latest ones literally just came out like yesterday.
Yeah. I'll get
So-
back to it.
So it's weird
love
because they have a
on the
holiday special on top of it. Yeah, the wall goes even deeper this time. There's like a whole new subset of characters that show up.
with the people in the wall.
Yeah, people in the wall for the wall. That shit was
It's like
crazy.
it's a whole other show. They could make a show just called The Wall, or
They sure
whatever, and it'd be awesome. Like people that. So if you're not watching Solar Opposites, basically, The Wall are people that got miniaturized by little kid aliens that were assholes, and they just stuck them in this. They're basically like it's like their
Like
pets.
ants.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stick them in there, and it's like there's like thousands of people in there at this point, though. People that like wronged them at whatever point, they just didn't like them. They just threw them in this fucking wall. And
Yeah, it's not even. It was like it's people that triggered his OCD.
and
Like
some-
he talks about how one guy was wearing a red shirt, so he
Yeah.
shrunk him.
and somebody escaped. Like at least one person escaped.
A couple people
Yeah.
escaped, and
Yeah.
so it get that comes into play in the 3rd season. There was a lot of crazy stuff with the wall. The wall goes deeper this season. I was like, what the hell? like it was like a whole new. I didn't think I thought the story of the wall ended, even though there's people still in there and they weren't going to go back. But no, there's a whole new season basically of the wall with a whole new story. It was wild. I was like, holy shit!
At least he's
And
never
then it
bored.
literally sets up. It literally sets up the next storyline for the wall at the end of the season.
There's multiple
Is
storylines for
Solar
people living inside of a wall.
Oh yes.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yes.
Can they like interact
They're
with
like-
each other?
Yeah. So there's actually factions in the wall.
Yeah.
I-
It's like
Yeah.
each.
And there's like a
It's-
whole society. There's a whole fucking government, a society
Yeah.
that live like. When we say a wall, we're
Oh.
kind of being sort of there. It's like
Big.
when I say a wall, it's like they're living in like a hamster, fucking.
Or it's more.
You know,
environment.
I'd say
But
it's
the
more
best-
like
they're in
an
a
ant
wall,
farm.
This is people,
It's
like
more
a
like
like
an
ant farm. The
Yeah,
giant
like
ant,
an ant
like
farm. That's
wall
better,
isn't a
yeah.
wall. It's like a
Okay.
clear wall. It's like if you're looking at a wall right now, instead of it being like the sheetrock or whatever, it's the glass, so you can actually
Yeah.
see what's going on. So it's like a giant
Okay.
ant farm,
Yeah.
and so like you see people. It's like that game that we used to play on our mobile phones. What's it called?
Oh, Fallout Shelter. Fallout
Yeah,
Shelter.
Fallout Shelter.
Yeah,
yeah.
great game.
Fallout Shelter, where like basically you can see like all the different levels and rooms and see what people are fucking doing inside this wall. And
Yeah.
there's just a hierarchy that's going on.
Yeah,
And it's
because like
crazy.
the higher you go, in the wall, like each shelf level is a different like class level, and the lower you go is like a lower class level. And there was a disaster that happens in the wall. Basically, the lower part of the wall gets flooded, and that's literally the slums or the sewer. And it's like crazy because like the bugs are huge. There's a rat. There's a mice. It's wild.
Wasn't
It's
this
this whole
sorry,
story. Go
wasn't
ahead.
this the plot to an episode of Rick and Morty? I know it's made by the same people, but
Well,
wasn't this the same plot?
I think it was like the stair people. I
probably
think you're
similar.
right?
But
I think it was the stairs, but yeah, it's very similar.
this
Right.
goes way deeper because this turns into like Lord of the Flies meets shit. It just turns into this really weird like survival type
It's like,
thing because
like Lord of the Flies and I was gonna say Westworld, but what's the one where you have like the little thing in your hand? Where you don't like that you're-
Logan's Run.
Yeah, Logan's Run. I would say Logan's Run.
Holy shit! Hold on. I'm surprised Old Ninja didn't pick that up first. But yeah,
I-
the
I'm-
red
'cause
thing on
I'm-
the back of the hand.
yeah, I've never fully like
Okay.
read all of Logan's Run or played the
What-
game because there is a game on Logan's
There's
Run.
also, there's a movie
what's
that,
the-
that
what's
me and
the-
Blue are talking about.
What's that
Yeah.
little shake that they would eat? The one that was made out of people. Soul Green?
Soylent Green.
So green, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So it's a bunch of those anecdotes kind of merge into this kid's wall, and he feeds them
You
candy.
know what they were talking about, right?
I've watched like the first like 5 episodes.
Of
Solar Opposites.
yeah, but you,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
the Soylent Green and Logan's Run. You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're really good.
I feel like a
good.
child.
There's-
Morty's,
Yeah.
Family Guy-ish. Is it so? Is Solar Opposites only on Hulu, or do they also
It's
show on
It is a Hulu exclusive, and they
Okay.
make sure that you know that it's a Hulu exclusive because they go, especially in this season, they go super meta about them being a Hulu exclusive, and they even take digs at Disney. It's actually pretty funny because Disney, they're a 20th Century Studios show, and Disney owns them, so it's pretty funny. So yeah, season 3 just dropped. It's about 8 episodes. Each episode's about 24 to 25 minutes roughly. And it's super weird. And what's also weird is they released a holiday special. I don't get that. I didn't watch it.
A
But it was
holiday
like,
special in July.
in July, yes. I was like, where did this come from?
July or some shit?
All right.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't know what it's about. It's just really weird. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make a note of it. It's super weird.
Well, they kind of did that for God, the one with the hormone monster. What show was that?
Big Mouth.
Oh, Big Mouth.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day,
Yeah,
right?
I'm glad you watched
Yeah,
that.
they had a holiday
Valentine's
special.
Day?
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I haven't watched the newest season, but I remember I used to try and make what was it? Not the empathy toad. Was it the empathy toad?
Was it a toad?
Yeah. It was at the end of season, I believe 3.
Empathy Toad.
Was it the empathy frog?
I don't know.
It was a little frog that the
what you're
redheaded
talking
chick,
about,
I don't
yeah.
remember her name. Like that's how she got over her depression.
What,
Was
was it a
talking
cat?
to this. No, not
No,
not
the
the
cat was
depression
like-
cat. It was how she defeated the depression cat.
Yeah, I already talked about.
I gotta look this up.
Was it the empathy frog?
Hey,
I know that-
want to be in here.
I know
I
it
like
was
those.
empathy. The gratitoad. That's what it was. I used to make the gratitoad, and it made me feel like really happy for some reason. And I loved my gratitoad, and I lost all of them, and now I gotta make more of them.
You're a great daughter. Gratitude. There you go.
That's awesome.
Do you want to shake my hand? Is that what you're doing here?
Yeah,
What is that? What is?
it's my earring
Why is your earring on your finger?
because I didn't want to lose it.
You have ears on your finger?
I can't. Yeah, I hear things.
All right.
This table's
There's,
loud.
there's an elephant in the room I need to fucking bring up, and I
Oh,
think
here we go.
it's kind of funny, but I think it's weird as hell to hear Lilith curse. Like, holy shit! Just the fact that I've known her since she was like a little kid,
I mean,
and just hear her curse and stuff like that.
it's weird for me too, because I have to let it go. But she's an adult, so what am I gonna do? But yeah, Blue, tell your favorite Lilith story right now. This is probably gonna make
Oh,
everybody
I
laugh.
feel like I know where this is
There's a
gonna
few of
go.
them.
Yeah, you know the main one. You know what I'm talking about.
So wait, there's the one when I spent the night at your house. There's the one that we were at Dave and Buster's, and there's also the Scion one. There's a few of them.
I think it's the one you spent the night at the house.
Okay.
Was she asked for help or something like that?
Oh yeah, when I
Well,
peed
she
the
didn't
bed.
ask for help. Yeah, that one. So yeah, Lilith was, I think she's about like 4 or 5, and I was sleeping on the couch in Cronus's crib down in Escondido. I hear her crying. I'm like, I'm gonna go check on her, and like she's totally losing her mind, and she had wet the bed, and I was like, being a professional bedwetter, I was like, I kicked into gear. I was like, all right, look, check this out. This is how this shit's gonna work, so you don't get in trouble. So like, we get some towels and we put her down on her bed, and like, I tell her to go change clothes, whatever. Not, I'm trying to help her. She's still fucking like crying and stuff like that. And eventually, she told me like, you need to shut up. Like, you're not. She said something wrong. She basically told me to shut up, and I was like, well, fuck you then. I'm gonna knock on your mom and dad door and get you in fucking trouble. So I go knock on the door. Nothing. I'm like, I'm fucking banging. And eventually, Lily's mom wakes up. She comes out. I was like, oh yeah, Lily peed the bed. She's crying on here. You need to handle this shit because she told me to shut the fuck up. So screw you. But yeah, that was one of the stories. But then like,
I feel like I should have not asked that, because that could have been like way less embarrassing. I'm very sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I'm laughing my ass off.
Okay.
I'm moving quietly as hell. And that sounds very accurate. You two used to sleep like the dead.
Yeah.
Like the dead. I
Yeah.
remember I used to be able to sneak into your room and lay underneath your guys' bed so I could watch Adult Swim.
No, that definitely
Wow.
not. But I definitely don't sleep like you did now.
Huh?
I said I definitely don't sleep
No.
like they did now because, yeah, I've been to war and shit.
That's one of the stories. So, but there's one where she was like really little when I first met her. And this is something I didn't know kids can do, but Lily stuck her whole hand in her mouth. It was like her whole hand. She's like, ah. I was like, holy shit, she can stick her whole hand in her mouth. That's amazing. But then that's also around the time when I did American Idol, and Lily's mom was making fun of me about being tone deaf.
This is the best
Oh,
fucking
we're at,
story.
I can still find that
Yeah,
video on
dude.
YouTube.
Oh, no.
Oh, you-
Do you know the story about this?
What do you mean the story?
Sir, tell the story.
All right. So, your mom, she was making fun of me at saying I was tone deaf and I was horrible at American Idol. At this point, people were telling me like, "Oh yeah, you were funny and blah blah." And so like she was giving me shit about it. And the waitress so we went to Dave and Buster's and we're at the restaurant part where we're eating, and the waitress came over. She's like, "Oh hey, aren't you that guy from American Idol?" I look at her son, I look at your mom, and I smile. I was like, "Oh yes, I am." She leaves. The waitress leaves. And she comes back with like half the fucking kitchen staff. They're sitting there asking me for like autograph. I'm sitting there taking pictures. Like everybody smiling, having a good time. That was my favorite 15 minutes of fame, just because I was able to put it in your mom's face to show her like, yeah, I might have been bad, but like people fucking love me. At
Yeah.
least for that 15 minutes.
She was
It was
talking
great.
so much shit.
She was,
I don't doubt it. And the
like she was
slightest.
literally. I want to say she was like one of the. There's probably like 2 people that gave me shit about being horrible on American Idol, but like her, like that whole moment is just solidified in my brain. Like it was a really cool moment.
It was like perfectly timed
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Anyway, we gotta wrap this up because we're Jesus almost 2.5 hours in. She's got to drive back, and I still got to edit the podcast.
I'm starving too.
All right.
Unless she wants to watch me edit the podcast, it's up to her.
Huh?
But I have to edit the
All right.
podcast.
Oh, okay.
I'm just.
That's fine.
I mean, you can eat and watch me edit, but all right.
Oh, amazing.
Wait,
All right. So we gonna wrap this
question:
on.
how long is she down there for?
Till Friday,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What,
There you go.
what time do you leave on Friday?
noon.
Noon. Okay, so that day's shot. But we're going to Stone tomorrow,
Yeah.
which is crazy because you can't
Wait.
drink there.
So,
yeah.
quick.
Not legally,
I know we're
keyword
gonna
legally.
wrap up. But what's the whole reason? Why is she down there? We didn't really go into that.
So
Like why?
I
really that?
tried to plan.
Really?
I tried and succeeded on surprising my father, because he is notoriously difficult to surprise. And so I had planned this like 6 months in advance, and what?
6 months?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah. I had planned this like 6 months in advance. And about 3 months ago, I had coordinated with
Your auntie?
Okay.
my aunt. I don't.
Markeisha?
Yeah, I don't know.
Kendall.
She had a different name.
And the guru.
No, she goes by.
No,
the
Vader's
pod-
wife. Vader wifey.
No. She's talking about I forgot her name when she was on on her and
Mishka?
Kay. Yeah, Mishka.
Mishka.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Mishka and I had planned how to surprise as many people as possible while I was down here. And so my significant other and I had flown down so that everybody could meet him and so I could surprise Dad. And once Dad finally showed up, because you were late, very late.
Listen, there's. All right, listen. If you have friends that are black and and they say, "Hey, the party is at 1," that means show up at 2 or 3. It doesn't mean show up at fucking 1.
Yeah.
Stop doing
Yep.
it, people. Stop doing it. All right? So that when they say it's like 1, they're still getting ready at 1. All right? For
Yep.
whatever.
Or, yep.
Just saying. Anyway, go ahead, ma'am.
My significant other and I showed up at 1, okay? And no one was there. We drove around for like 2 hours. Like 20 minutes, not 2 hours. We drove around for a while. I was calling Mishka. She wasn't answering the phone. I was like,
Oh, Mexico wasn't even there?
no.
See, that's. See?
She hadn't answered the phone all day, and I was like freaking out. Anyway, once Dad had finally shown up, fashionably late as always.
On time.
Fashionably late as always.
On time.
I'm standing my ground.
CP time. CP time.
He had done this like massive double take. It was hilarious. You were like, wait a minute. Hi. And Kay had come out and she was all teary-eyed because she saw me from the window. But yeah, the whole plan, the reason why I came down here is so that you could meet my significant other and so that the rest of the family could meet my significant other. And to surprise you as best as possible. And I think we succeeded at that.
Oh yes, it was a great surprise. The only thing that I regret is that I couldn't I wish I had like more time to like hang out. But you got your significant other, like how you call him your significant other. Just funny to me.
What?
No, it's just like because I'm old, I guess. You're my kid. Yeah, I'm glad you're happy. But it's just like I wish I'd had time. Like, but I don't feel bad because you're hanging out. You guys are hanging out together. Because like I work, Sunday through like Wednesday, like every week. And if I'd have known you're gonna be here for like whatever reason, I would have like taken time off.
But it would have ruined the surprise.
There's
It would have caused suspicion.
okay. There could have been other ways, but I could have taken. Well, recently probably not because I just took like a bunch of time off for like fucking COVID. But yeah, I just wish I could have had more time with you. So I'm sorry, but also you got your dude. You got to do things done in SoCal, so I'm glad that you're having hopefully a good time here.
Yes.
Even though he's not like, what is he? He's just sleeping right now.
Most likely either sleeping, playing video games, or watching somebody else play video games.
Okay,
Like middle school me.
fucking nerds. Anyway, it's all good.
And there's people who play video games that make millions of fucking dollars for people to watch them. So.
No, he seems like a good dude. So I'm not gonna talk shit. Like honestly, I'll probably talk to. So we're gonna hang out tomorrow and go to Stone, because he can drink, but you can't. I mean, you can't drink at Stone. I know you drink anyway, but yeah, I gotta sit down and like talk to him, and not in like a bad way. Just like you're dating
Feel him out.
my daughter and not me. So, because like when we first met, he was like kind of nervous. It was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
don't be nervous. He called me like Mister and my last name, and I'm just like, yeah,
You're a
I'm
big
not.
black dude.
It's okay. Like I'm not gonna kill you for dating my daughter. Like it's fine.
Well, you gotta understand, just having the title of being a Marine, that's already terrifying. To not even just straight up, and then adding the fact that you're my father, that's just like a little bit of spice of terrifying. The man had sweaty palms. His knees were weak. His arms were heavy.
Mom spaghetti. I'm just saying. I tried to disarm it like right away. Like when he said Mister, my last name, and I was just like, it's okay, just call me by my first name. And I get it, but we'll hang out tomorrow again, and he's not dating me. I think that's what probably like a lot of fathers get wrong about like their daughters is like you don't own your daughters. Once they become adults, like even before they're adults, you don't own them. Like you're trying to raise them, yes, but at a certain point in time, you have to like let them go and like make their own mistakes. And I'm not saying, hold on, I phrased that wrong.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I'm saying that you're gonna do things that I might not necessarily agree with. It has nothing to do with like your boyfriend.
Or
Like,
experiences. Yeah.
yeah.
Bad choices, good stories. Favorite motto.
No, bad choices are not always good stories
Yeah, no.
because they can last with you forever. Anyway,
No good story ever started with I had a salad.
but maybe. Well, it depends. Like, was the salad tossed?
Uh,
Oh yeah. Well, no, because then you're in prison. So.
All right, I'm just saying. Is that the only place you had? Anyway, we're not going there because my daughter's sitting right next to me. So yeah, this like I think there's like a thing to where if you're a rational father or parent, where you get to a point to where it's like they're gonna be their own person, and you should not try to influence how they're gonna be as an adult, and you have to kind of believe in, even though like we had you've had split parenting, and I have to recognize that, and so like everything that you've gone through in your life, I can't control all of it. And when you're an adult, I'm definitely not going to try to control any of it because you're an adult. I'll give you some suggestions, but they're just that, suggestions. If you make mistakes, they're your mistakes.
Yeah.
If you make, there are things you're probably critical of, like when I was parenting you, but,
In the past.
it's in the past, but, I don't know. It's like you'll see. Like when anybody that's listening to this, when you become a parent and your kids become adults, you're in like this really weird period for a little bit. It changes over time, but then I also have a fucking 5-year-old, which is like you're still in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's like,
14-year age difference.
"What's up?"
14-year age difference.
Yeah, it's a lot.
all right. Well, we got all that out there. Stitch, what you got populating this weekend? What you getting into? Not gonna say the other stuff that Project usually says.
Tomorrow I head out to Reading. I have a training class, so that'll be interesting because it'll be the furthest north in California I've been. So it'll be fun. Yeah, I've only been as far north as Chico.
Oh, okay.
So
Wait. Have you gone past that area before? Or?
No, I've never been to Oregon or Washington
Oh,
either.
what the fuck? Okay.
Oh, wait, what?
All right. Yeah,
Oh,
you definitely
I'm
should
actually-
keep going someday.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised, but I figured you would have been to at least Seattle by now.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list, and I never get a chance to pull the trigger and go out there. But my boy Derek, he's out in Oregon right now, so I have a good reason to go visit and stay out there for a couple of days and check it out. And like he's by like Bend or whatever,
Oh
Oregon, which
yeah,
is great.
yeah. That's right on the border.
Yeah. So I'll be out there for a day, then I come back, and then
Oh my god. That's all bad. That's like an 8-hour drive.
yeah, well, I think it's like 3.5 or whatever. So we'll see how that plays
From
out.
here? Not from here to Reading.
I think it's like 3. It's not 8.
Isn't it 8? Is it
No,
3?
it's shorter than that.
Wait, are you talking
LA
total hours or just
No,
one way?
just one way.
No, it's like from here to LA is like 5.5, 6.
Mm-hmm. And you're just going the opposite way.
Yeah.
Here to
it's further.
Sac. Yeah. Because here to Sac is 2, and then Sac to Reading, I think, is.
That's like an hour and a half.
So like you guys have all experienced snow, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Just not
See,
torrential snow
Right
or
now-
whatever.
Yeah. Reading is 3.5
open your
hours.
door?
It's telling me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
it's like 3.5 hours from where I'm at right now, based on what Google says.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be out there doing a fun warrant writing class or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be a lot of boring.
Wow. You're traveling all the way up there just to write.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just to write. That's
So
all.
I plan on leaving early and hopefully finding some sort of brewery to fucking entertain myself at or whatever till I go to sleep and then wake up, do the class, and then fucking head back home or whatever.
Hmm.
Then other than that, I've been geeking out playing the Ninja Turtle game. The Ninja Turtle game
Oh.
is fun. I need to get on that and team up with some people so I can unlock some trophies on the Ninja Turtle game. And then other than that, just sort of been chilling. Storm's been fucking hilarious or whatever. She's just nonstop running around doing her 2.5-year-old thing or whatever. Not she have a occasional temper tantrum and stuff over just like random dumb stuff, but it's expected. I just like laugh and I just like stare at her when she's like barrel rolling on the ground, kicking for like no reason because I can't.
Oh.
She won't have a graham cracker or something.
It's funny now.
No, it's. I just like look at her. I'm just like, it's not gonna work or whatever. I just like look at her. I'm like, all right, now just walk away. And then she realizes that it's futile, and then she'll like try to find something else. She'll go grab like her book or something like that and start like pointing at photos and pictures and shit. So, yeah.
Oh, Ninja, are you frozen? Is he not even anymore? I think he's dropped. Holy shit! All right, he's definitely frozen. Blue, what you got?
I know I bring up my son all the time, but just since he's on here, like he's at the tantrum stage right now. Like that should come out of nowhere. If he can't do something, he'll throw a tantrum. But like he does the body lock, lean back tantrum. So he like falls fucking back like above his head. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to work with trying to help him figure out what he needs to say. But yeah, it's interesting because he's starting to speak more. Like he's learning more words every day, and it's crazy. Like the other day he said Uno. I was like, oh shit, you know Uno. And I talked to the daycare person. It's like, oh yeah, he can count to 10. I was like, wait, what? Like so like I brought him home that day. And I was like, Uno, dos, and like he would say it after me. Like he doesn't just randomly say one count 1 to 10. But he if you say it, he'll say it back. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy. Like, this is nuts. But yeah, he's just growing. His favorite word right now is all done. It doesn't matter.
All done.
He could be drinking water. He'll say it all done. He's like, if he doesn't want anymore, or it's actually finished, or he'll just say it randomly. But like when he was first saying it, like we would say we'll kind of emphasize on the all done part. And he does that too. Like he'll say all done. Like he'll sing it out. It's like that shit's fucking funny. But like in my office, my where I'm recording right now, I have like this alarm clock, and like he figured out how to turn the music on. So he hit the like he will come into my office and turn the music on, and for some reason it's always Doja Cat that's playing. I'm like, what the why is that fucking on? It's always Doja Cat.
Does he play
Anyway,
Moo? Moo's like the greatest song of all time. I'm just saying.
well, no, it's just the radio. It's the radio that he's playing. But yeah. So like sometimes like he'll turn it on and we'll start dancing to it. Then he'll turn it off and I'll stop. And he'll let me out and turn it on and start dancing again. Kind of like reminiscing to the whole intro to Bluey. But yeah, man, this kid is it's just crazy. Like he's growing. His molars are growing in, so he's like, so there's times where he's just like super fucking just mad and crying and stuff like that, and like it's really interesting to see this kid grow. Like I posted up a video on my
There we go.
Instagram of him. So we have he has a Montessori bed where he basically his bed is on the floor. So when he wakes up, he has free range to the whole room. He's not inside of a crib, crying, waiting for somebody to come and get him and stuff like that. Like he wakes up, climbs out of bed, start playing with his toys, and like I have a video of him like waking up, going to his little bookshelf and grabbing his books, throw them on the floor, and just like looking through them, just flipping through the pages, touching things, like moving around. I'm like, holy shit, like he's actually interacting with his own environment. And I was like, holy shit, this shit's fucking crazy. But it's crazy. Crows, yeah, I mean, you understand. All you guys understand other than Old Ninja, because
Well, I
this
mean,
guy got 50, 11 kids.
well, and also I don't think Stitch's daughter went through Montessori, right?
Not, she's got a Montessori type bed where she's got free. She's never been in a crib or whatever. So we have sort of the same concept of a bed and everything, but not like the actual school itself, the formal school.
All right.
Yeah.
It's like it's.
Yeah, look at it.
I mean, Lilith she didn't go through Montessori or anything, but I definitely see because I didn't know it even existed back when she was born. But yeah, I mean, if I could rewind time, we would have put you in Montessori. If we had the resources, back then it was a bit of a different time.
It's really crazy how Montessori was like a something for like low income, like
Yeah,
like the ghetto basically.
but now it's crazy.
And like now you
expensive.
try to find a school. Yeah, now you try to find a school that's the way. It's like just hundreds, thousands of dollars and stuff to enroll your kids. But
Yeah.
other than my little guy growing, I'm trying to do the audiobooks for Sandman Volume 2 or Story 2 Part 2.
Great
Part
book.
2? Part 2?
Yeah.
Act 2. Act 2. So I'm listening to the second one because I'm waiting for the Netflix special that's gonna be dropping soon. So I've been doing that. At work, I wish I would have had my training this week if I knew Lilith was going to be down there because I was supposed to be training down in San Diego, but that got pushed back. But it would have been cool to be down there too when Lilith was there and be like a huge everybody all surprised or whatever. But yeah, I'm still working with that. But other than that, just chilling, having a good time, living life to the fullest, and that's about it for me.
All right. Lilith, what do you got?
How did you?
I go back to Michigan on Friday, and then I have another 2 days. I have Saturday and Sunday to hopefully, I pray jet lag only lasts those 2 days because I cannot work that tired. Huh?
You'll be fine.
Hopefully.
You're young.
And then I go back to work, sadly. But I do have a project that I've been working on that hopefully will actually set into play when I get back. I'm planning on trying to make I have it all welded. I'm a welder. I have it all welded.
Iron Man suit?
No, it's a giant D20.
Okay.
It's about the size of my head. And I got one of the guys in the laser department to laser cut me 20 equilateral triangles that are 5 inches long in every way. He gave me 42. So now I gotta figure out what else to do with all the rest of these triangles.
You know what that means? That he fucked up a bunch of them.
Nah, that means that he knows what my favorite number is.
Oh, okay.
And so, you know what you do with the extra ones? You make ninja stars.
Well, see, these triangles aren't anything in our program. I had to get one of the engineers to write me a DXF file so it could be translated into our laser machine so they could laser cut me all these parts. And I'm surprised I
Wait.
didn't get in trouble for it. But
Not yet.
yeah, I mean,
Quick question. Look, do you have like have you ever thought about doing like a YouTube channel and like kind of showing like some of your artistic work that you work on? Because there's some good stuff out there that even I follow, and I think that might pique some people's interest. And when you say B20, are you talking about like like
D.
a Civic engine?
D20, a 20-sided dice.
Okay. No, okay. A B20 is an engine for the Honda Civic. When you said that, I was like, should we doing an engine?
No, I'm
I'm
not
thinking more
building
of
an
the-
engine. I'm good. I'm not that good.
All right, cool.
Nor do I know anybody with a Honda Civic. But yeah, I'm in the process of making it in this. I've have it all welded and like polished and stuff, but it's the master for a mold, so I can make a giant candle out of it. And I have a bunch of tiny D20, like normal size D20s. I have molds for those. And then inside this giant head-sized candle is going to be a bunch of tiny dice, like stacked up against the sides, so it looks like it's filled with D20s. But
That sounds cool.
I don't have nearly enough liquid silicone because that shit is expensive. Oh my god. I spent like $60 on liquid silicone, and it's not even half of what I need.
You should ask somebody that is your parent.
But like, this is my project.
I mean, it's your project, but you can ask for help. So,
I also need to figure out how to set it into a bucket so that one of the sides, or so like only one side is hitting a surface and not all sides. But that's pretty much it. It's just going back to work and dealing with humid Michigan.
all right. For me, my youngest daughter, she starts public school next week, which is interesting. I can save a whole bunch of money. It's great. It's like I was shopping with Geico. So yeah,
Take care.
so hopefully that'll go well. I'm looking forward to it. And after she starts going to normal school, I was gonna start going back to jiu-jitsu again this week, but I got my oldest daughter here, so I'm not gonna do that this week. So tomorrow I'm gonna go to Stonewall Bistro. Actually, maybe I can go to jiu-jitsu tomorrow. I don't know. Depends on what time you want to go to Stone. But it doesn't really matter. Either way, I'm fine with going next week. Yeah, my house hasn't sold yet. Still waiting out for it to sell. I'm trying to like set up, other plans to happen. So we'll see. It's like a saga. This has been a terrible move so far. But I'll adapt and overcome, and we'll just do that damn thing. So other than that, not a whole lot going on. So, Old Ninja, why don't you take us out of here?
All right. For me, because it got announced that they're about to tear it down, even though in a decade everyone's freaking out, but there's an amusement park here in or in the Bay Area, called Great America. My niece has never been, so we're gonna try to take her next week, and then just watching some of these shows like Solar Opposites and what was it? The Orville, and I just finished The Boys, so I'm starting up on Umbrella Academy season 3. So I'm like on the second episode or whatnot, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, you just experienced Black Men Black Times Infinity, the biggest podcast on the internet. Check us out anywhere and everywhere with Beathen BTI. That's BTHAN BTI. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, everywhere you listen to podcasts, check out our official website, binheadproductions.com/BeathenBTI. You can email us at beathenbti@gmail.com because we have a Discord. If you want to be a part of it, you can email us, let us know you want to get in, and we will instruct you on how to be in. There you go.
All right. We are out this bitch. Stitch, last word.
Out.
Little say fuck.
No.
She said
That's why.
plenty of fucks in this episode.
No